Hey, there's the day that we are live. Today is Tuesday, the 17th of April 2018. We are waiting for a few people to join us on this hangout. But so far, we have Costa, who's from Cyprus, who lives in the UK at the moment. We have obviously Astral, who is an Englishman who lives in Denmark. We have Patricia from the UK. We have Levkungfu from the UK. We have Josh, Flat Earth Unity from America. And we have Flat Earth Teens, Raven from America. So good evening, everybody.
Good evening, everybody.
Yay.
Hello.
Good evening.
So everybody's okay then. And I thought basically Raven has just put a video out the last couple of days about modified mosquitoes and animals. Do you want to talk a little bit about that, Raven?
Yeah, I would. So to start off, I think it's actually a really important situation since it's nothing conspiracy theory related. It was an actual official thing that people were talking about, and these doctors passing away, the same way right behind each other, over 50 doctors. Um, I think it's going to mostly start out this summer because, that's when most of the mosquitoes, start flying around, bothering people, biting people. And it could be really dangerous. And they say that they're even putting viruses and diseases in the mosquitoes that are actually incurable. So, I kind of feel like we're a bunch of guinea pigs for whatever they're trying to do.
I totally agree with you there, Raven, that we're like, they keep telling us about the animals, but they've forgotten to tell us that they've actually included us with the animals.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same for us.
Yep, we're like
And
a whole experiment to them.
yeah, I agree with you. And what made you think that then, just by the way, on the mosquitoes? Because obviously you've been researching a bit, haven't you?
I heard my mom talking about it, and I thought the subject was actually pretty interesting, and it's actually really important. So I thought people should know, to be wary of these insects and stuff that'll be flying around, especially this summer.
What can we do though? We don't get that many mosquitoes here in the UK because it doesn't get that hot.
That's good. I see one
Obviously
here
where you
every
are,
day,
it's
and
very
it's not
hot.
even hot in here.
Yeah. So do you want to explain a little bit about what you put in your video then?
Sorry, can you repeat
Those
that?
that may not see. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what you put in your video? Because maybe some people here don't know, so it's just good to explain your video. Flat Earth Teens is her channel.
Yeah, inside the video, I was talking about that subject, obviously. I was speaking of the doctors. One of the doctors, she was female. She tried to make a petition to stop all these mosquitoes from going out because she said it could collapse the ecosystem. And they also found her dead the same way that they found the other doctors dead. They reported that this one dude, this one guy, he knew exactly what they was putting inside the vaccines during all that flu season drama, and he was telling people when they came into his office that they shouldn't take the vaccine, and he ended up dying the same way too. I'm not sure about the case for the 50 other doctors or however many the number is. It was a lot of them, but they all died in the exact same way around the exact same time. And I think
Yeah,
yeah,
I
my
think they're
dad,
doing that with
he joined in the
well,
video
aren't
too.
they?
So if you want to find out the rest, you can just watch it. It's to be the last video on my channel on my page.
I think they're doing that with the bees as well, aren't they? Because we actually do need the bees in our ecosystem. They pollinate nearly three-quarters of everything. And without the
Yes, and
bees, how's it going to get?
and it also makes me think about when you see certain insects around and what seemed like it doesn't have a place here. It feels like that maybe it was added to the place we live in. Things like rats and And roaches, the animals that doesn't really serve any purpose. So now we have we have spiders and all of those animals, and they share a part, in our ecosystem. Like how you have bees, flowers, trees, birds, they all serve a part in the ecosystem. But then you have these animals and insects like roaches and rats or opossums. Like, yeah, sure, people keep some of them for pets, but I don't really see why they're actually here. And I don't even think there were any traces of any of those kind of bugs or animals back then. The normal we'd hear about cows and the things you'd see in a zoo. That's what we always hear about back then. But I never heard of anything like roaches and all of that, cockroaches. Back in the Bible when they were talking about the plague, I think it was, and when all those people were getting diseases and all of that, they didn't exactly explain which insect. I think it was lotus. It was
Can I,
lotus,
yeah,
and those
can I,
still aren't
so,
related to what we have
sorry,
today.
sorry, Ray, but can I just say the only insect that I can come off top of my head right now is locust, yeah, like
Yeah, locusts. That's
grasshoppers.
what they're called.
Yeah. Um, I, while she was chatting there, I was actually thinking about something to do with like the animals and things. It's actually just skipped my train of thought right now. Brain fart, one of them. But sorry, carry on, sweet Sam. I don't want to interrupt you.
Yeah, it's all right. But yeah, I wonder if anybody else think about that kind of things, the things you read about in the Bible, the things you read about in history. Nobody really pays attention to, that kind of stuff. But it's kind of odd to see the stuff we have today wasn't here back then. It makes it seem like it makes it out to be maybe a human experiment or experiment gone wrong, because it definitely wasn't here, when we first got here. I yield the floor.
Hey, we did have trouble from Australia on the other day, and she said, "Well, thanks very much. You brought a couple of rabbits over, and now we're inundated with rabbits." And rabbits were not native to Australia,
Hmm, I
so I
didn't know
mean,
that.
There's actually many incidences where animals, insects, whatever, have been introduced into a habitat to cure the habitat of certain. Yeah, let's take for example down in Australia they introduced frogs to take care of. Was it frogs introduced to take care of something that was eating away at the sugar cane anyway, and yeah, suddenly they're overrun with way too many frogs. So they didn't cure the problem; they just introduced a newer problem into the equation. So I don't think that messing with nature is too intelligent. I live in Denmark, and just last week, in fact, it wasn't only yesterday, some guy has shot a wolf. They've just more or less introduced wolves to this country again, or they're trying to, get the population of wolves up again. Obviously, the only way that they can come here is by swimming from Sweden, from Norway, or by going overland through Germany. And I think that's the way that they're coming through Germany. Obviously, there's a lot of forests within Europe, and they will seek other areas of habitation and what have you. So I just think it's a bit of a shame that a hunter's shot one of these wolves, and they're more or less just coming to Denmark. So I mean, where do we go? I personally don't think we should do anything at all with animals. Just let them rule their own little animal kingdoms. We don't need to interject and interfere because I think we only make things worse. And I too yield the floor.
Yeah, that's actually really true because we see all these movies about how the world might end with aliens invading or the sun exploding or something around that lines, but we rarely see anything about it actually being human to destroy the earth. It made it unlivable with all these experiments and toxic waste and just the way humans are in general.
hmm. So you've just got this feeling that none of these animals were there then. So what do you reckon happened then? We've been reset then. These animals keep being introduced.
I actually don't really believe in all that though, the reset stuff. I mean, it could be true. It really boggles me that that people really don't know where they come from. Like all these religions and theories and conspiracies, and the people here don't actually know where they started. We have an idea, we know something started us, but we just don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe it was intended to be that way.
Yes, you mean back to the pyramids and the pyramid people, because they're not the Egyptians. They're
Yes,
before the
exactly.
Egyptians. Yeah, we all would like to know that. But I think what they've done, Raven, is that they're changing the past all the time. So that it gets much harder to go back, and you keep finding it. Even though others want to know more about the pyramids. I mean, I found the other day that there's even pyramids in Tenerife, which is one of the Canary Islands off of Africa. So they've even, what they thought were terraces, they've now put down that they are step pyramids. So there's pyramids there. There's pyramids everywhere. And they've got space instead of talking about what's really here. Are you there, Raven?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm still here.
I was just saying that, it's very difficult to go back, isn't it? I mean, there's just such a lack of written stuff.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lack of information, and the people who maybe did knew or had some aspect of any of this stuff, they're long gone.
I mean, I was looking up a video today, and this guy has found these pictures in the 1850s, and they could do 3D pictures in the 1850s. Basically, it was a bit like how they've done it is if you sort of just look at an object in front of you and you put your hand on one eye, hand on the other eye, you know how it slightly changes position of what you're looking at. And that's what they've done with the pictures. They took a picture there and a picture there, put them together, and it just looks 3D as if they're moving slightly. But they were able to do that in the 1850s. So do we know who and what everything is? It's like it's all been kept away from us, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. If they're not doing a good job at anything else, they're doing a good job at that. They're telling us everything else crazy that they're doing except the things that we actually need to know. Oh, I was saying in my video that if they really didn't want us to know about any of this mosquito stuff, um we wouldn't know. I mean, why would you have cameras and all of that in the lab where you want to keep things secret? So that's why I think they're rallying up this situation, trying to hide something bigger. They're always trying to hide something bigger.
Yeah, sometimes what they do is they have us looking at one thing while they're actually doing something completely different.
Exactly.
So what you think is going on is bad enough, but what they're actually doing is even worse.
They make a bad thing happen so people will, they'll focus on it. And while they're in the background doing something that they actually don't want people to know about. I mean, it could be something that they've been working on for years because we've been having this back to back to back 9/11, wars, diseases, experiments, and technology, and all of that all of that stuff.
Hi, can you hear me?
You're a little bit further away. The chat room were moaning they couldn't hear you.
Right, I'll get out of the bath in a minute. I'll be fine. But anyway, I was just going to say it is totally the Wizard of Oz. That's the life we're living in a nutshell. Because the more you peel away, the more you see, and it's like we are living in a great big onion, aren't we? I mean, it's been said a million times by 1,000 different people. The more you reveal, the more clueless you are. You know, it's like it's just where do we go? Down the rabbit hole. Keep digging. You know, it feels almost like it's like that.
Oh, did someone just come on then and we lost them? Who have we lost?
Lev hopped off.
Yeah, we just lost Lev, but
Oh,
Lev's
right, he'll be back.
bad connection.
Yeah, Astral's right. The more you find out, the more you need, you need to research more. It's not just, oh, we've got to the end of that. And it always leads on to something else. If you found that, Raven, you look at one thing and then, oh, but now it's opened that Pandora's box and that Pandora's box.
Yeah, it's like a chain reaction, a domino effect.
But I'm a bit worried about the bees, to be honest, because we really do need the bees. And I mean, I don't know if people in the UK have noticed, like at one point we're overridden with blue bottles and flies like that. And now there's little black flies. And now, I don't know, who sees a great, I mean, there's not even so many spiders. It just seems that these animals who they told you could get through nuclear wars because they were so robust. I mean, I know nuclear bombs aren't real. Well, yeah, that's what we think now. But these animals could last all through that, and these seem to be the animals that are disappearing. And they don't want bees to come out, do they? Because bees hover.
Yep. I see actually a lot of bees around here where I live. I guess we have a lot of trees and there's so much stuff growing out there. We still don't know what. There's so much stuff growing out there, and I'm happy to see bees here.
Miss Raven.
Yes.
Miss Raven, have you had a chance to experience the mosquitoes in Georgia yet?
No, not yet. Every mosquito I've come across have been squished on the wall or the house, and the one alive that I've seen, the one alive that I've seen, it was in winter and it was actually stuck in the house. So that was like way before this situation, and
Oh,
nobody was actually worrying about it before then. But
oh
yeah,
yeah, they're
I
gonna
haven't
be
really
out.
seen any
Believe it.
mosquitoes.
Them things gonna be out. I don't know. I imagine with Florida being so close to water all around it, you had to have experienced a lot of mosquitoes in Florida, right?
Yeah, we did a lot. It
Oh,
was annoying.
it's gonna be the same. Just don't expect it to be much less. That's all. I grew up around that area, so I know Arkansas is the worst. They call the mosquito the state bird of Arkansas.
Oh God, they call it the bird. Let's classify the mosquito as the bird. That's how big they grow.
Yeah.
They're plentiful here.
Well, talking a European, from a European perspective, I lived in Sweden. It's a country that is pretty much full of lakes. If you go to the next country over from it, Finland, there's even more lakes. That is, yeah, it's an area that is totally full of mosquitoes. No matter when you go, you will, yeah, I mean, it's just, it's a nightmare.
That's
In the chat
the
room.
one thing. Oh, sorry, Karen. Excuse me.
No, you carry on. Doesn't matter. I'll say it in a minute. Go on, Josh.
That's the one thing that's beautiful about living where I live in the desert. No humidity and absolutely no mosquitoes. We make up for it with flies, but there's no mosquitoes.
I can't stand flies.
Look, sister, I hate them too, but I'll take 1,000 flies in my house over 10 mosquitoes in my house at night. At least the flies
Yeah,
go to sleep at night. The mosquitoes
yeah,
bite me all night, you know?
yep. You don't need
Yeah,
any
I
of
think I'm
those
a bit
bites.
allergic to mosquitoes. They leave me great big, bite marks. They do. So some people they don't bite, and some people they do, don't they?
Yep.
Who's
Mosquitoes.
to
I've
say
been
that's
having
not a new
some.
strain of mosquito? Sorry about that, Miss Raven.
That's okay. Yeah, you're right. I've been having a lot of bites too. Well, I think I had one and it started to break me out, but I'm not sure if it's the dish soap I use. But it's like all over my hands. And it was like a couple like 2 weeks ago. And I have 10 scars on my hand already.
Can
I'd
I
say it's possible that it was the mosquito because a mosquito bite pumps histamines or it pumps something into you that makes the histamines in your skin go crazy.
Yes,
they
but
pump
it's weird because
they,
I
they
haven't
pump something
actually
that
seen
coagulates
any
the
around
blood.
lately.
Wait a minute, Astral. Sorry, Raven.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
Oh, that's all I had to say. Sorry. I yield the floor.
Oh, what were you saying, Astral? Astral, you're really low. Astral. What's he doing now? He was talking
It
away,
sounded
but we
like
couldn't really hear him.
he left the phone in one room and tried to talk from another room.
Yeah, it's his
Experiment.
headphone.
Okay,
I myself
okay.
am a
Sorry,
bit.
Karen.
Are
Can
we
you hear
better
me
now?
now, people?
A little bit better.
A little bit better. All right, I'm gonna have to change these headphones out again in a second. But yeah, that what I was talking about with the mosquitoes, when they bite, they do something that thins the blood out, but then it coagulates afterwards, so that they can suck the blood easier for themselves and drink and get their food. But then it like it does something. They've got some sort of a chemical in their spit. It coagulates the blood around the wound that they've just sucked. Yeah, there's a little pinprick that you've got in your thigh or wherever it is they've bitten you. You know. Yeah, something like that, isn't it?
Hmm. They're vampires then, basically, because they like blood.
Pretty much.
Yeah, well, I'm one of those people that they leave, if I'm going to get bitten, they'll bite me all over my face. It's really strange how you never feel them bite you, isn't it? And then you wake up with these great big, but sometimes spiders bite you as well, by garden and brush past something. And it was never a fly or a mosquito, it was actually a spider that bit you.
Oh, yeah, we have like so many poison spiders here. We've already killed one. It was a brown recluse. And then I seen
Oh,
two more around somewhere. And I could do it. I don't think I've been in there since.
Good stuff. Yeah, brown recluses are bad in that area. Also, where I'm at, brown recluses are bad
Brown
too. I'm in the
recluses
desert in California.
and black widows.
Yep, same thing here. Black widows and brown recluses, that's the only thing you got to worry about biting you, really. Now, if you go
Yep.
moving stones around, you might get bit by a snake, but you got to really look for those kind of things. The only thing that really gets you probably be a spider.
Yeah. And I think snakes are coming, coming here in the summer, the rattlesnakes because we have this like really long vine tree that's on what's the thing you call it? The wood that you build over a walk. I don't know. I don't remember the word for it.
Landscaping timbers.
Yeah. Yeah,
what
those.
you mean,
And
bridge?
we have these viney trees they grow on them and they have these purple flowers going on them. I think you see them. I showed them in one of my videos. And the landscaping guy, when he came here, he said we have to watch out for rattlesnakes because they like to go in there because, to eat the birds because the birds like nesting in there. And it's like really overgrown. It's like really big and we need to get it like, trimmed. But it's really, really pretty though. And I actually don't want to get it trimmed. But, I think my parents are scared of rattlesnakes. I don't think you should have told them that
For the
about the
most part, the
rattlesnake.
rattlesnake is going to try to go away from you, sister. You're way bigger than it. You're not a little
Yeah, I
bird.
know.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's going to try to warn you and get away from you.
Yep, that's exactly what he said too. He said they don't really bother people, but it is kind of scary, seeing them up in the trees when you walk under it.
They had to have had poisonous snakes down in Florida. I know they got copperheads. I know they got water moccasins at least.
There's all sorts of things in Florida. It's like the
Yes, ma'am.
Australia of the United States.
Hmm. We have noticed over here, by the way, that in the summer, especially the summer, we used to get a lot of maybe dragonflies out in the fields. Seemed to have lost, and the chat
Dragonfly.
room was just
Hmm.
talking about it. Lost a lot of the dragonflies.
Oh yeah,
I
we
haven't
have them
seen
out
one.
here in the desert as well. Have you seen any of those yet, Miss Raven?
Um, I might have once, maybe. I can't actually recall, but I think I've seen one, but only once.
Those are magical. They hover as well.
One thing I haven't seen yet is a firefly. I'd like to see one of those.
Oh, you've never seen one before? I was just about to say that's what I miss about being in that area. Going out at night, if you go in the summertime in a place where there's not that many people, you can sometimes see them fill trees up and it looks like a tree is like flickering like a Christmas tree. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I'd love to see something like that. I'd also like to travel somewhere where there's no city lights and you can see like the stars and all the colors and stuff, looking at the nebula and all of that. We only get like the stars here are in the country are much better than they were when we were living in Florida. But I'd like to see more, and I see all
Oh
those
yeah.
pictures that people take,
I'd like to go
at the
100
sky.
miles out into the ocean. Exactly. Yes, ma'am.
Hmm, ocean. You know what I find strange? They've gotten to space, but they still haven't finished exploring the ocean yet.
Yes, ma'am. You know, what's that place? There's a place I think they found that's deeper than the Marianas Trench, or something like they haven't even explored the Marianas Trench, or something like that. And they have all these things that they claim will, handle these extreme vacuums and crazy pressures and temperature changes, but they won't go down there.
I believe if they can't go down in that water, they shouldn't be up there in the first
You
place.
better know it. That lets you know that they're not up there in the first place.
Hmm. Do you think they've got bases under the seabeds? A lot of people say that they're not really up in they've actually dug under the seabed. Do you think that, or do you think that's rubbish?
I actually played a game that's like that once. It's called Soma, and this guy he went into some sort of device, and it put his mind inside of a tank. What's it? A diving suit. It put his mind into a diving suit, and he had to explore under the ocean. And at the end of the game, you find out that Earth is, it's unrecoverable, and they have this thing. It was called the Bullet, I think. It was something along those lines, and it shot the a ship with a copy of everybody's minds out into space, but he needed to get to it and activate it first. And it was like a lot of bases under there. I remember one of them was called Pathos, and that game is actually really terrifying. But yeah, it's like a whole lot of underwater bases that was under there. And so yeah, I think they could actually do something like that with all the things they're hiding. I mean, why not? Maybe that's what they're actually talking about. Maybe that's their space. It's not actual
Has
space, it's just underwater.
They're in water, aren't they, when they train? So it would make sense, wouldn't it?
Has
Yep.
anyone seen that video of Chris Hadfield supposedly underwater in that? It's like he's like in an underwater laboratory, and he's quote unquote opens a can of Coke at full pressure, so that whenever he opens it, it's not, it doesn't go tss or anything. It makes no noise. It just opens.
Equalizes itself.
I personally believe it was a dummy can. I believe it was a can that was not filled with carbonated liquid.
Could be.
Well, they like lying to us just to can't they? So nothing would surprise. Well, actually, it does surprise me, but in a sense, that's saying nothing surprises me. But I'm a bit more worried about the bees, to be honest. We need the
Yeah,
bees.
that's something you need. They even tell you in the B movie.
Special.
Remember? Does anybody remember the B movie?
What you mean, the killer bee?
I mean the the kids
The
film.
Disney one
Yeah,
with
yeah,
Barry the bee.
that was good.
That's
That.
exactly what's gonna happen here if the bees disappear and stop pollinating.
I think. Can you
Mm.
hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm a
you're
bit
a bit
low.
better now.
I'm a bit low. But I think it's very greatly underestimated this problem and trouble with the bees, because if we don't have the bees, then basically, yeah, we're knackered. We need to have the bees, that's for sure. And it's not just a matter of pollination; it's more than that, much more than that. It's actually a big thing that we need to have Our little dear bees.
Or maybe they're disappearing because of GMO
They're
things.
not maybe. It's
Because
because
they're
of
not
that.
real, are they?
Because of that, yeah. They're being poisoned, killed off, and obviously we're suffering because of it. And if it's not pollinating, if the bees are not there pollinating where they need to be pollinating, further down the line, in a few years, we will see the catastrophic, the catastrophe. Can't speak, man. I've got a new pair of lips here. We need the bees, Karen. You're right, and I just think that people are just not too aware of how important bees actually are for our, survival. They're vital.
That, I mean, bees are just amazing in themselves because they can, once they resonate, they fly anywhere about 30, 40 miles an hour. They can just go wherever they want once they resonate to the frequency here, and then they just get it, and then they can go all over the place hovering. And I mean, they're just amazing. So they don't even want us to understand them properly, do they? Because, I don't know about you, Raven, but did anybody at school tell you that bees hover, or did they say don't fly, they hover?
I don't recall anything like that, but yeah, I've seen the bee. They don't actually fly. They hover. There's so many. I can walk outside and probably see one now, but yeah, I can tell that's true that they hover. I haven't actually seen a bee, flying around. I go outside and they're just kind of gliding in one place before they go back into their nest.
And they sort of defy things, don't they? Because they can stop, start, move this way, that way, off, back.
Like a drone.
They just do. Yeah. Yeah. And they're defying everything. Can I just say that the chat room, Astral, are moaning they can't hear you. Astral, you need to sort out your headphones.
What did you say, Karen? I couldn't hear you.
The chat room are saying they can't.
I know. I don't know what's wrong, but I will try and figure it out. All right. Just keep chatting. I'm listening. I can hear you all fine.
In the chat room says there's a virus killing them off. But I mean, is this where they kill them all off and then there's this sort of talk that we might go into this sort of ice age? So they want all these things to happen, don't they? Because then it creates whatever they want to do next. Lovely bees. It's not fair, is it, to change the ecosystem? I mean, they tell us how much we need the bees, and then they're helping to
them.
Yeah. And you're so right, really, because what they do is they tell you all the things that you need, but then they cause the problem, and then they have a solution, and we don't often like the solution. But by then, everybody thinks, oh, no, they've got the solution, without realising that they caused the problem in the first place.
Exactly. It's making us feel, helpless. Like, unless you're one of them, you can't really do anything. You have no choice but to take that solution because you're not in control of anything. We have all the wrong people in control of the world.
Yeah, I mean, where do we go? I mean, do you write to your president and say, where'd you go? Where'd you go to, in a sense, I know that people are coming together, but with the authorities, it's almost pointless, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
But then it's good because obviously you're a teenager, so you have a long time and you will at least be able to notice if things start changing drastically, won't you?
Yeah, I think so. It's like we're the children and they're actually, the authorities are the adults. Children are only limited to be able to do certain things while the adults can basically do whatever they want. And when people tell you, like, yeah, when you're 18 and you'll be grown, you can do whatever, that's not really true. You can't do whatever. You can only do exactly what you're allowed to do. Since everything is based on money. What are you going to do? Oh, when I grow up, I'm going to travel. Yeah, with what? You could, but you can't due to how it is today. So no, technically no, you can't grow up and do whatever you want.
Yeah, I feel really
Well,
bad for you
sorry,
young
can I
people.
interrupt you there? You can do what you want, but we are limited with what we wish to do. You know, you can basically do what you want. Put your mind to it. You can do what you want, right? Basically, but we are, like I said, limited. Either it's because of money, because of distance, or because of family or whatever. But we can be limited. But basically, we have the ability to do it if we wish to do it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you, Raven, but yeah, I like what you say, but I disagree there. You know, if you want to do something, set your mind to it and go to it and do it. It's as simple as that, you know, in my eyes anyway. But I mean, yeah.
Sort of, but
Yeah.
I know what she means. When you put it all together, we're sort of living in an open air prison, and she's understood that already. You can't country.
I
You
think
need
that
passports. You
could be
need to
the
be on
case for some
the
people.
system. I mean,
It's
I've kind of
freedom.
worked.
It's freedom with quotations.
Yeah, I mean, you think that, they tell us that in the Western societies we've got democracy and we're free and all this kind of stuff, but it's not true. And we're very led by the television. Does anybody in your house watch the television? I bet your little kids, your little brothers and sisters do, but I bet your mum and dad don't. I bet you don't.
No, I don't really watch a lot of television. I prefer to stay mostly online.
I think it's quite reassuring that there are people like you, Raven. I mean, I know who your dad is, but that a young person like you is already doing it, because we need you youngsters to wake up. But we're probably going to have to rely on your generation to sort this out.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Don't mean to put any pressure on you or anything.
I don't know, it's okay. I really think, it is kind of up to us.
I mean, for instance, we're going to the voting booth this Thursday. It's more local elections, but the amount of things coming through my door and people knocking on my door and things being posted to me, and maybe they think it's close here, but why isn't there on the voting ballot a no? No, I don't want them to vote. You've got to vote really for one of them. When actually, I don't want to vote for one of them. So we've had one right taken away because there's nowhere that says no, I don't want them. So I'm voting, but I don't want them.
Oh,
And
give
the
me a second.
logical choice. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, go on.
And the logical choice of not complying actually is your consent for them to do whatever you wish. That's the sad thing, is like they have us in such a system that when you don't want to comply, the natural thing in your brain would be like, yeah, just don't do it. Well, that means that you signed. You somehow gave your signature as soon as you didn't comply. It's gross.
Yeah, because if you vote for anything, then really all you're doing is saying, yes, do whatever you want to us.
It's like parenting when they give you a choice, like, honey, would you like 2 carrots or would you like 1 carrot? And of course, the kid who doesn't like carrots, I'm like, I take 1 carrot, but either way, they still get a carrot.
Thing is, in America, over the years, I think a film changed it. I think it was the one with Michael Douglas in it, where he suddenly went mad, basically. He was coming home from work, got stuck in a traffic queue, and then suddenly he just went a bit ballistic. And I think he was getting divorced in the film. And then basically he's got a gun and he's going through, and he basically goes, but that just showed that America wasn't this, everything was you're welcome. Is it still like that, or has things changed? Is everything you're still welcome, or do you think the people are changing slowly?
Um, well, I think less people care. So yeah, they've definitely changed, but it's not for the good. You know, people just want to get on with their lives and do whatever they can to survive, you know, out here. And they're really not trying to get into all of this trouble and craziness. And yet they just basically accept the things that are happening to them.
Yeah, they've kind of got us that we don't care anymore, do we? I mean, people obviously watching all this rubbish on the television, it must go in one ear and out the other, and they're just able to get away with it.
Exactly.
Do you think now you're 18 that you'll vote, or do you think that you won't vote? You know, like oh, that's probably a bit personal, I suppose, but do your parents vote? Do you I don't know. It was something that, you know, we're told here, our parents fought for the right for us to vote in the wars. But really, when you work out what it is,
we do not vote. That's what they want you to do. Get involved in the system. Vote for whoever. We don't vote.
I'd like a no vote on there, personally. You're voting, but you don't want what they're offering you. I think that they'd suddenly find that millions would be putting no.
Exactly.
And then they wouldn't have any power, would they? So they can't put that on there. So you're only left with voting for what they want you to vote for.
Exactly.
Well, if you think about, sorry to interrupt, if you think about it, right, we have democracy. We live in democratic societies and what have you, but really we haven't, have we? Because we're forced into everything. There is no democracy in a true sense of the word. Would you like this or would you like that? You know, they ask us, well, if you don't want to choose, well, where do you stand there in this you know, small equation or whatever? I mean, are we to be taken like, well, I don't want that and I don't want the other? So do we feel like, you know, more inferior because of our choice? Are we supposed to feel more inferior because of what we choose and how people look upon us, you know? Do you know what I mean? It's like we're forced into it, but there is no democracy. Do you understand what I mean? Or is it too wild?
Yeah, they use that word democracy, don't they? But it's not.
There
Someone's
isn't, no.
put demon crazy. It is democracy, demon crazy. And anyway, all politicians say they're going to do one thing, and when they get in, they do something completely different. I mean, I don't really want to talk about this too much, but I sent this video out to people today, and what it was is it had Trump in 2016 saying, this is before obviously he was president, but yeah, you don't want to be in the Middle East, you don't want to be doing this, you don't want to be caught up in that, no, no, no to the Middle East, and now he is. So they all say one thing, and then they go and do something else. Demon rats. Joe's put demon rats. They are. Rated comic. A democratic. Someone's put, Mark has put rated comic. Yeah, you have to sort of look at the words that they give you, don't you? You think they mean one thing and they mean something else. Is Costa there? Costa?
Yes, yes, hello. Nice to hear you.
Hello.
Nice to hear you. And Astral is very positive tonight, and all the guests. And I would like to say a bit about democracy. About the word democracy. Basically, it means demos and krasi. It's like two words in one. So demos means the public, the people. Yeah, and krasi means to hold. So it means that people are holding the power. So it's up to us, finally. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it might mean that the people are beginning to be very angsty about the whole thing, and they've just got to find ways of continuing to try and control us, because that's what they're doing.
Well, it sounded quite nice there that Costa said, people that have the power, that we hold the power.
Yes,
And
yes,
basically, you know, we've all been saying this since we're all awake. We have the
yes,
power, and we need to
yes,
make a
yes.
change. And the way to make a change is to realize exactly what I'm
There you
saying,
go.
that we have the power. We control
That's
our
it.
own
That's it.
fate in that sense. Be the change you want to see. You know, we
Yes,
can do
yes.
it. We
And
just
the
all
same
gotta
what you
get
what
together, club together. Let's do this shit, man. We can do it. You know, easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
and the other one you said before about freedom. What you said, that you do what you want to do, something like that. Yes.
Yeah.
So basically, freedom in Greek would mean the word is eleftheria. So it starts from El, which means something to do with God, like Israel, Elohim. You know, these El words basically mean God in some sense. So do what you love towards God, something like that. This is what freedom means. Yeah, so if you do the right thing, the thing that you love, then you are really free. Yes. And yes, we have this freedom, and we have to regain the whole thing. I think it's they made everything opposite that what they seem. Even the words are perverted for me. They change the meanings, like anarchy, for example. Anarchy means something supposedly bad, isn't it? Like when you hear the word,
Yeah, that's what they
you
believe
hear.
is that.
What do you think? What I tell you now, anarchy. What the first thing that comes in your mind?
Well, that it's bad.
Something bad, isn't it? But it's not.
And it means freedom.
It's the opposite. Not the opposite. It means basically it's an archon. Like an means without. Archon is the master. So without the master, without master, it doesn't mean that it's something bad. This is the word.
That's why they say it would be anarchy. It's exactly what that means. It's great.
I absolutely love
Yeah,
these
we need
Sorry,
we need
Costa.
anarchy. Yes, sorry.
I was just going to say, I absolutely love these little hangouts because, all right, we know the word anarchy, and you've just reiterated it for us there. But I mean, it's like people in the chat or people that are listening at a later date. You know, I mean, we really have been misinformed with all of our education. You know, and it's like we're okay. We're a bit more in tune to things, and we're trying to wake everyone up as much as we can and find out things as as fast as possible, so that we can move forward with our education, which is basically started from when we woke up, kind of thing, because everything is just topsy-turvy, upside down, left is right, and
Yes,
black is white.
Yes, there you go. It's mad. Such lies everywhere, like you said. Yeah.
Do you follow words like that, Raven? Are you into the word play of words that they're using against us and not realizing what we're really saying to each other, the spells we create, or like for instance, like anarchy, they've got us as, oh, that's a bad word, or we don't want to go near someone who's an anarchist, but really it's a freedom fighter or a freedom.
Exactly, yes. That's what it means. And they make you think that chaos, you think anarchy, you think chaos, yes, in your mind, something chaotic. But chaos is what is happening now. Now we are in chaos, complete. It's people understand what's going on, but what can they do? It must be something very, very big to change things completely. That's what we're trying to do. I believe. That's why I'm doing this stuff.
My brother Costa.
Yes.
Do you know the story of Sophia and the Demiurgos?
Demiurgos. Ah, okay. Tell me which one. Which one?
The
Go, Josh.
Demiurgos is a Greek word, no?
Yes, yes. Demiurgos means creator.
Yeah. Sophia created Demiurgos without her counterpart.
Ah.
And
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
born.
yeah.
It was born an aborted fetus. It was born in the deepest, darkest parts. It had to create the plane that we live on. It had to create the reality we know, according to
Yeah,
Gnosticism, not according to me.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, interesting, interesting. Yeah, basically the whole Greek alphabet is like a prayer. It's like a prayer to wisdom and to the soul of man, basically. So there's a lot of Gnosticism that helps a lot.
Can I ask something?
Sorry,
go.
I just want to say, Costa, it's brilliant that we've come in contact with you, especially because of the old Greek alphabet and things, you know. I mean, we're looking into old books and we're looking into, you know, the old stories and things. And I personally feel that anything that's modern, take it with a grain of salt. But the old text, especially like Latin, the Greek, you know, any old text, no matter what language or cuneiform or whatever else it's written in, you know, if we can look at those, and I'm not saying that they're all 100% accurate, true, and that we can trust them, but at least if we can decipher them, we can begin to learn from them, and that's one of the good things that I like about, you know, this hangout, that you're from Greece. Efkaristo, you know, I know a few words and I'm knackered, but the good thing is you can read it, you know, and you can look at old books and texts and things and make sense out of them, and that's so valuable. I mean, really, so valuable, especially that we all want to learn.
Thank you very much, brother. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And because you said this, can I give me like a minute or two to say what the alphabet means? Is it okay, Karen?
Go for it, Costa.
Yeah. So the whole Greek alphabet is a prayer. The whole, you know, alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon until the omega is a whole prayer. I think I should write it down. So it goes like this. Al, the son of the conscious mind, that you are the light, come to earth, and you, El, the visible sun, the coming one, send your rays on the clay, which is baking. Make it become a land so that the cells can live, exist, and stand on the vibrating earth. May the night, which is a minor, not dominate the essence of the fire in the boiling clay, not be in danger of being extinguished. And let the soul, which is the major, the most important of all, be developed. Yeah? That's what it means.
Right.
That's what it means.
That's awesome. Sorry, Costa. I actually thought you were going to say, Al, this is A. It means sun, conscious mind, visible sun, blah, blah, and then whatever. And then, you know, beta, this is da 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 da. You know, I thought it was going to be like that. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. No, I'm sorry. No, I don't want you to do that. I thought that's what you was going to do. So
I was.
But I must say, it was very nice that what you just said. Then, you know, I mean, it must be the most poetic alphabet I've ever heard, or anyone has probably ever heard, for that matter. Nice.
Yeah, and thanks. And the omega is the last letter, the omega. So that's what it finishes with. But basically, omega and the omicron, yes, the two O's. The omega means just bigger. Okay, so when you say oh, you prolong it a bit.
Yeah.
But
I'm just thinking because
Omicron, wait, the omicron you just say oh, just a little, very small.
Yeah, shorter. Yeah,
shorter. But the last one, it goes for me. It goes forever. You know, it's oh, and then it starts again. So the alphabet is like a circle. It's like the round zodiac. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So I think everything comes up to the zodiac, to that, you know, the zodiac circle.
Yeah, I was going to ask you because omega is omega the last, isn't it? It's the last letter of the alphabet.
Yes.
Well, omega is also the symbol, which is the same as Libra, which is on the ecliptic.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm just thinking. You've got the first letter of the alphabet, which is Al.
Yes.
Alpha.
Alpha. Yes.
Yeah, but the symbol for alpha, does it look anything like what Aries looks like? And I'm having to say that just out of the back of my mind that it probably will do. It will look like an Aries. Is that correct or not? Do you know what I mean?
It has something.
The symbol for A in Greek, does it look like the ram, Aries? You know, almost like a palm tree.
Yeah, it's the same with the English A. The same thing. It's like a pyramid with a.
Oh, okay, right, yeah.
That letter comes from the Hebrew letter Aleph.
Aleph, yeah.
Aleph, if you know that word, I think it means something to do with soul, something spiritual. So, the all together. Yeah, and also with Aries, because Aries it always comes first.
Yeah.
So Aries is the head. So the shapes of the letters, it's all the symbols of all the letters have a lot of meaning. It's not just lines there, you know.
Do you remember we were on with Dave Murphy when he was talking about the alphabet? And all it is it's all the same letters, but they're either upside down on their sides. They've just used them different way round to make different languages. So an A can be on its side, upside down. They're still used in languages. They're just used differently.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. It's very similar.
Can I ask Raven? Raven, do you think that, like, obviously we're talking about languages and things here, but do you think that you've learned a lot more because you're a flat earther, like, and learnt it differently? Do you think you wouldn't have been bothered?
I think I have learned a lot more as a flat earther, looking at things differently, even like with things like that I thought I already knew all about. I see everything like in a new light now.
So at least people like Raven are being educated differently, with more reality. But I asked you before, didn't I? You said a lot of your friends are not into this yet, are they? They're into having fun, and you might be a bit of an exception, but that is probably your dad helps with that, isn't it? Because obviously you like your dad and you listen to him and you've learned stuff off of him.
Yeah. Pretty much what you said. I agree.
Yourself as a teenager, though, because Raven's got her own channel and she puts out quite a lot of information. Like I say, she's just done one about modified mosquitoes and animals, and at least someone young is actually in this, because we need the young people in this to wake up. Do you think there's lots of flat Earth groups around you, by the way? Or do you really think that, you know, so far, okay, you've woken up, maybe there's other teenagers that have woken up, but you're still quite in the minority. We need you to be in the majority.
I think it's like we're really scattered, but I know for a fact that there are other teenagers, you know, who look at things differently and actually think about the flat Earth instead of just putting it off.
Well, that's good. That's reassuring. Do you link up with these people as much as possible? Do you sort of look for them now, like you're looking for a certain kind of person, or do you just have a mixture of friends and you just get on with it?
I don't really. I'm not sure. I don't really actually have any flat Earth teenager friends. Well, actually, no, I couldn't say that. I don't really have any flat Earth teenager friends, but you know, I see in videos online. There's this video I was watching, and this guy he interviewed these kids that was at a park or high school, I think, or something, and you know, he told them about the flat Earth, and this one girl, she was like really inspired. She was actually listening, and she was trying to get friends like, come on, this stuff could actually be real, and I really thought that was cool.
Because we need more of you younger people waking up. Hey, Huey's joined us.
Good afternoon,
Hi,
Huey.
There you go. Hey family, how y'all doing? How everybody doing? How everybody doing today?
Good, good.
Hey, do you know Raven? Huey?
Say again.
Do you know Raven? Flat Earth Teens.
Yeah, I follow her. I haven't never talked to her before, you know. But I do follow her in Big Dread.
Can I say something, Karen?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, well, I was talking with also a young lady earlier this evening, 21-year-old, and she, yeah, straight out globed me. She just globed me, right? For lack of a better term, that we definitely not living on a flat Earth. And I said to her, okay, all right, well, can you tell me about it then? And I asked her, how fast is the Earth spinning at, you know, to start with? Let's just start off there, can we? How fast is the Earth spinning? Oh, I don't know that. Oh, all right then. Well, and I told her, right, what about the distance to the moon? You know, let's do something like that then. You know, how far are we from the moon? Or oh, I don't know that either. Right, how fast are we going through the galaxy? I don't know that either. What's the tilt of the Earth? That I don't know either. Well, okay. But yeah, you fucking claim that we're living on a globe. You know everything about it. You know nothing. And I said, this is what we're fucking up against. I'm sorry for swearing. This is what we are up against, where people are just so ignorant. They will say, we're living on a globe, but yet they're doing absolutely nothing at all to prove their claim, you know? And yeah, I mean, what can I say? This is a 21-year-old, you know, it's supposed to be at the prime of their life, you know, plenty of brain cells still developing or almost still developing or whatever, you know, coming to that time of their life where they should have everything accumulated in a sense of their body developing and growing. 21-year-old, no, this is the end of the road for that person, I'm telling you, because it ain't going any further. As far as I can see, that conversation is ended because it's one of those cognitive dissonance. It runs deep in this child, I'll tell you.
It probably did for all of us, though. You know, maybe 10 years ago, someone said we were on a flat plane. I might have gone, oh, no, we're a ball. You know, we've got pictures from space and all that. It's only when you start looking into them, you know, myself, you almost have to see it yourself, don't you? That's what really changes your mind. First time I go and look up NASA, I find paused astronauts. So excuse me, it's fake. And as far as I'm concerned, if they've got to make you believe in a fake reality, then no way. Excuse me, I've got a bit of a tickle, so can someone else talk? Can someone else just talk for a minute, because I've got a bit of a cough. Panel, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I'll say something.
You can see him wearing a
Whereabouts do people think this information comes from? For, you know, like Astral was just saying about this person saying they don't know anything. So where do they think this information comes from? Like, they don't bother to look into anything. They just believe what they're told. They just don't look into anything. I mean, I know we on this panel have looked into things, but I don't know where I'm going here. I'm just filling in for Karen while she's having a coughing fit, trying to get the frog out of her throat. That's another thing as well. You're on about bees and everything. Hang on, I've got one now. Catching, Karen.
Sorry, I don't know. It's got a bit of a tickle in my throat. It wouldn't stop.
I've just started. Like, has anyone noticed the lack of frogs as well? I'll leave that because I'm going to start coughing.
Yeah, there's a lack of frogs. I remember I used to go up fields when I was younger, and this time of year, it used to be covered in them. Like, even you walk up the road and stuff, and you know the floor was just covered in them, like tiny frogs. Like nowadays, it's rare you see them at all. You know, so for any insect up there, I used to see like massive dragonflies and stuff like that, but it's rare you see dragonflies as well.
I think, can I just say something, Lev, right? When we were kids and we saw like frogs, it was an amazing sight. It was like, wow, there's billions of them. There's absolutely billions of them. You know, they're just the whole, wow, it's like from here to the next town, man. You know, I mean, that's the way I saw it. There were just so many of them. If you go back to where you went when you were a child and you look to the places where you saw those like frog spawn, you know, fields, seas or lakes, whatever it was you saw them at, you know, they're probably the same, man. The puddles are the same size, you know, those lakes are the same size, and the areas where you saw frogs. Okay. There could be a bit of a, you know, decline every now and again. I mean, that does happen from year to year, but I would have to say that if you go and have a look, when you were a child, everything always seemed so much bigger than the time, like when you look again when you're an adult, you know.
There's been a lot of changes, like man-made changes and stuff, like the
for sure.
The swamps, the area and stuff. So all the swamps, they must have like harbored a lot of life, and that must have like made a difference to the dragonflies and the other insects and amphibians as well, like because you used to get newts as well, didn't you? What else were there? There's a few things that have changed. They changed the horizon in where, the town that I live in and stuff like. I mean, where I grew up, in the house I grew up, you could look out at window and it was quite a long view. And then they built this mound of this hill. They built a hill and then put roads over it and built trees, put trees on it and stuff like. Which I didn't know why they did that originally, but they just make changes, like, and I don't know why they do these changes, like. So I was like, I don't know why do they get rid of swamps? You know, that's like really damaging to ecosystem. I also think chemtrails are to blame slightly for insects and the ecosystem again, for having those kind of things.
Well, they had to allow us to make our own prisons, didn't they? That's why we live in things called apartments. They've let us build our own prisons, basically, and towns, flats. You know, like there's enough land to actually be on. They don't want us in the countryside, not really. They want us in the flats and the apartments.
There's burning banks as well. I were on about that last week. We got rid of the burning banks up the fields around here and stuff. So if we got rid of the burning banks, the swamps, and we change the horizons and stuff like, they're completely changing everything about the ecosystem, really, aren't
they? Just
Sorry,
asking,
Lev.
Raven, do you think
What did you say, Lev? Burning banks?
Haven't you heard of burning banks before?
Like river banks?
Yeah, kind of like along river banks and stuff. But like at tops where you walk along and stuff like that, land had like smoke had come out of it. And if you walked across it, it could sometimes be dangerous and stuff. So I think that's why we got rid of it, really. But whenever I walked across them, my foot could fall through maybe 10-15 centimeters or something like that on average. And then you'd see underneath it's ash and very sulfury. So it's like it's just slowly burning away underneath and stuff like. But yeah, I think we've got rid of them. Maybe across all the country, we've got rid of them. But has there been any thought into that? Have you thought about what it's done to the ecosystem? Oh no, I don't know. I don't know if you've done research into it. The government, you know, they're the ones that changed it. So you'd think they had done.
Can I just ask, like the panel, maybe everybody, you don't have to spend 9 hours explaining it, but from like Raven and there's Josh and there's Huey, is there any things that you've noticed change in the last few years? Obviously, we've said the bees, the flies. Is Raven there? Raven. Oh, well, it's Josh there then. All these people on the panel, they've all got their microphones off. Huey.
We used to get a swarm that comes every year. It fell about 30 minutes of a daytime. It's like the sky would be just filled with different insects all flying across in one direction. I used to look forward as a kid. And as I grew up, it just happened less and less. And now we don't get this swarm flying across anymore. Not many people even remember. So it's an effect, isn't it?
We were talking to Flat Fred about it, weren't we, a few weeks ago? And the fact that, okay, ivy's actually, there are good things about ivy and it feeds animals, but they're just letting ivy go mad and the ivy is strangling the trees. We need the trees. We need the trees to resonate, and the ivy stops the tree resonating. So again, just changing.
Where ivy's growing, you don't see nettles growing either, do you? Well,
oh yeah, I suppose, but then they keep cutting things down, don't they? We live in town. Towns maybe don't have stinging nettles.
Towns maybe don't have what, sorry?
Well, if you're in a town, you know, like they don't really allow people to have, I don't know about America, but basically nowadays you get a garden, when they're building houses, you get a garden the size of a patio. And so there's no gardens, there's no nettles, there's no nothing, is there? People don't seem to want those, want a bit of patio. We need those things in towns for the animals, otherwise you just got concrete everywhere.
Yeah, I agree totally with what you just said there. It's like everything more or less seems to be more sterilized nowadays. And, you know, we were talking a few months back about, you know, grounding, and no one gets grounded anymore. We're all wearing plastic, or we're all wearing, you know, whatever it is, we're covered up, we're not earthing ourselves. And it's the same thing with, like what you just said then, gardens. There is no garden anymore. It's just like a slab of concrete or 4 paving slabs or whatever, and a flipping plant pot in the corner with some thyme in it, you know. And they'll say, there's your little garden, you know, make the most of it. It's a sun trap.
People used to keep
Do you think
composting.
also people were growing more of their own vegetables? Even 50 years ago, people were growing their own vegetables. And now no one's growing their own vegetables. We just go to the supermarket and get them. Everybody's a bit quiet tonight. Most people have got their microphones off. Turn your microphones on and talk a bit. Huey.
I was going to say it's noisy here, but otherwise, about this and the chemicals and everything, what about Monsanto, right? What do people think about that? And my own personal views of this, we can see chemtrails in the sky. There's less sunlight coming through. So photosynthesis or whatever it was that was making our crops, you know, bloom and thrive as they did do before, it's not happening anymore. Monsanto have got the cull on that. They're controlling everything that's going to be produced from now until 3060 or whenever it's going to be, you know, and we're losing out on this, you know, and we're just saying, well, it's a monopoly. They've got the money, so obviously they can afford it, and they're giving good wages out to people who work there. You know, I think it's time to wake up. Say to them, we're not buying your shit, and we should all start producing, growing, and eating our own things. That's probably the best way.
I have tried to do that myself on Sun and Moon. I've put the odd video up from Jimmy. He grows microgreens, and you don't need much room for that. You just need a windowsill, and you can start growing your own microgreens. And I put a little video out about that, and it doesn't take very long. I think some of them you actually start growing in the dark, and then you put them out, and they take days to grow. But you can grow your own microgreens, even if we started doing things like that, growing the odd little bit. But we don't, do we? We all run to the supermarket. Who here grows? I mean, obviously, Flat Earth Teen, she's a little bit. Josh or Huey or Lev or Patricia or Astral or Costa, do you grow any of your own things?
I've done little bits, like I've had chili plants and stuff like that in winter and stuff. Not really had much of a garden where I've lived and stuff.
That's very funny. Tin Forth in the chat rooms put, I tried growing a microwave. Ha ha. Josh, do you grow anything?
Not at the moment, but what I can say about Monsanto is I went with my brother on he drive a truck, and I rode with my brother for like 7 months in Oklahoma. Went to a grain place to drop off a load, and when I looked inside where the little bay doors open, you can see all the product in there. Every bale of everything that was in there full of seeds was from Monsanto.
I know it might sound crazy and everything, but I've seen this a few years back now. These guys are taking over the world, believe me. I mean, look into it. This has been going on for a long time. I also read studies into that the sun is going to shine less and less and less, and in 7 years' time, 7 years from last year, there'll be so little sun that you won't even be able to grow crops. And based on this, right, I think we should really start fucking seriously looking into growing our own little microgreens or whatever on a windowsill, you know, because 7 years, hey, it's soon coming around the corner, that is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
Trails of stuff. I don't know. But yeah, at least it's organic as well, isn't it, when you're doing it yourself?
Or is it though?
You can't escape numerology. It's funny they gave you the number 7, huh?
Is it organic though, with the chemtrails in the sky and all the, you know, like we learned yesterday when we were talking with Russian vids, you know, they actually eject lots of fuel when they're landing. I mean, that can't be very good for the surrounding area, is it? If they're just letting thousands of gallons of fuel out, I mean, that's not going to help on the countryside, is it?
No, it's not.
I mean,
organic.
they're calling it one thing. It could be something else. It's not. Well, yeah, but.
If you think about that, many years ago, the only concern we had from atmosphere was acid rain. I remember years when I was a kid, like, I don't know, 7-year-old or something, being told about acid rain. And it was like, what? Acid rain? What's that? What's that? Well, acid that's in the rain. That when the rain's falling down because of all the factories that are producing pollutants, it gets mixed up with the clouds into the atmosphere, it falls down, you get your acid rain. No, right, I'm into it now. So I understood that kind of shit, right? Yeah, that was a long time ago. A long time ago. And now we're into an era where we have aluminium, what's it called? I can't even say the word. Help me out, Josh. Strontium and what's that
Barium,
word?
strontium,
Barium, sorry, yeah,
aluminium.
barium, strontium, yeah, and aluminium, yeah, okay. But anyway, at least them three things that we know of. How many other things that we don't know of, you know? And I'm thinking about when I was a kid, the only thing we had to think about was acid rain. All right, there's a lot of parts that constitute acid rain, being acid rain, you know? All this shit from different factories, you know, sulfur and yeah, everything, you know, and also from like, you know, the cows and the pigs and God knows what else, you know, Uncle Tommy.
Where's our brother Dojo when we need him? Because he'll explain to us better what pH level is. But because that's what I was gonna say is, you know,
yeah,
that's
he
all
knows
it
all that. Yeah, yeah.
Acid rain is that the pH level is in the acidic, you know, therefore it's causing, you know, biological harm instead of doing biological good. Whatever.
Oh yeah. There's no doubt about that. I didn't know what it was or anything like that. I knew that, Josh. The point was that when I was younger, the only thing that we thought about was one thing, you know, it's like acid rain. Okay, we're not thinking about acid rain anymore, are we? I don't even think people talk about acid rain anymore. But I can guarantee, whatever you analyze from that jar that you take your rainfall sample from, and when you will do like a little analysis of it, it ain't just, you know, a little bit of acid that's in there. There'll be so many, you know, millions of a component of this and that and the other and God knows what, man. We're not thinking about it anymore. That's the thing. We're only thinking about these chemtrails that are, well, we don't think them falling down to the ground, but we've seen that people have done tests. I told you also last week about you can do this red wine test where you can gargle red wine, spit it into a petri dish, and you can see this like, you know, living, yeah, microorganisms, you know, that suddenly come to life, and it's from this nanotech that's flying around. Yeah.
Have you actually done it? Astral.
What I don't know if Astral's done it, but what I can say is I've done trisodium phosphate baths where you put trisodium phosphate in your bath water, obviously, and when you soak for 20 minutes, when you get out of that bath water, if you look at an angle, you'll see crystal formations, as well as once you've done it for 2-3 times a week for a month, you'll start pulling out these strange plastic filaments out of your arms and legs, and it's insane.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I've done it.
Really?
What is it? Sodium?
Trisodium phosphate, TSP. It's a cleaner,
like
an industrial
powder.
cleaner.
Trisodium phosphate. It's like a powder, like a white powder.
Probably, or crystalline. You know, it'll either be crystals or a white powder.
Okay, I'll check.
I wondered whether that's another reason why they didn't really want us to go outside and why they've got us on computers. I know we're on a computer, but it's the only way we can talk because we live in different countries and different places. But I was wondering if that's why they kept us busy on our iPhones and computers and the television. They don't really want us to go outside because they're changing it. I mean, we were talking the other day about nanobots. Was it they could actually start charging you because if you actually breathed in the nanobots that don't belong to you, so you're going to have to pay to breathe. And you think, oh my goodness, it just sounds so horrible, doesn't it, all of it? Maybe the experiments and the gains they've got for us. I just hope that enough people wake up and slowly we get rid of this. We don't even need politicians anymore. What do? I mean, here in the UK, you can't go to your politician for education, money, health. Well, if you can't go to them for any of these things, what's the point? They send you to an ombudsman or they send you to the council. So what's the point of having an MP? He's not there to help you. He's not there to change the law and make it better for the people. You know, no one's going to stand up and go, hey, I'm going to protect my people. The moment they get in, oh, it's party line, and then they follow what their party says. So what's the point of having them? But I bet you none of the people on this panel vote either. Everybody's got their microphones off today. Quiet.
Because I'm noisy, I'm eating.
I don't vote, Karen. Sorry, Costa, were you going to say something?
No, go ahead. It's okay.
I was just saying that I don't vote. I haven't voted for about 5 years now. I don't see the point because if, you know, people say, oh, well, I'm going to just put no vote on the ballot paper. But to be honest, you're better off just staying away, taking your name off the electoral roll, staying away. It's the same with income tax. Do something about it. Don't just talk about it. Do something. I don't pay income tax, so I can't do anything. But I'm damned if I'm going to pay council tax for something that I'm supposed to be getting, and I end up having to pay for the services I'm paying the council tax for. So I'm paying for it twice. Anyway, I just thought to sorry.
Oh, thank you, Patricia. It feels like that, doesn't it? When you're paying all this money for something and you're not getting anything anyway. And I just think that the council tax is a, well, it's another fake thing, isn't it? Just another tax. They like taxes. In America, I don't know if Raven's there. Raven, are you there? She's gone very quiet. Just taxes. Josh, America's just taxes as well, isn't it?
Did you say marriage?
Yeah. America.
No, in America.
Yeah. Yeah, America taxes.
Oh,
or
yeah.
United States.
Is there
United States tax.
Can anyone verify a place where they do not tax?
Hello, Raven. Hello, Huey again. What did you say, Josh?
Can anyone verify a place where they do not tax?
Can I just say? Can I say something? I know a couple of people who do not pay tax. So if there's a couple of people I know that don't pay tax, why the funk can not everybody be in the same shoes or the same situation as them?
I know a couple of people don't pay taxes as well. I know a couple of people who don't stop and detain on their tags as well, but they go about the paperwork right to handle their measures. You feel what I'm saying? They go correct their status. A lot of us people think that it's a myth, and we don't do what we need to do to correct our status. So they go to measures to do it. So that's what happens.
Yeah, exactly. If you can do it and you can get, you know, the correct forms or whatever, and you do it the correct precedence, you know, the correct method of doing it. If it's legal and available for one person to do it, it should be legal and available for everyone to do it, you know. And that's the thing that I have with things like that. If it's good for one, it's good for us all, you know. Where we go one, we go all.
I know somewhere
Yeah,
that's not being
that's the
taxed.
thing. I'm finna say that's the thing it is for everyone, but everyone don't take the information for what it is. Everyone take the information and go one ear and out the other, just like everything else that we're trying to do. We bring the light, we bring the information to the light, and they don't want to see the truth because they're not used to operating in the truth. You feel what I'm saying? And they used to operating in the program, so that's what they want to be. They want to be programmed. I have to realize it. Some people want to be programmed. If they don't want to ask questions, they don't want to know anything. They used to being programmed and told what to do. That's just like Indians and chiefs. Everybody can't be the Indian. You know, some people just want to be the chief, man. I mean, everybody can't be the chief. Some people just want to be Indians. You know, they want to be the best Indian that they possibly can be. Some people want to be the best employee that they can be. This is all they want to be, you know?
Hey, Huey, I agree totally, right? Can I just say something, right? I saw this meme today, and it said, why do I have to go to school? Okay, so a little kid asking his mum, why do I have to go to school? I don't know if you've seen it. I'll put it in the back chat, so if you want to see it, you can get it and you can re-meme it, right? But anyway, little boy asking his mum, why do I have to go to school? She replies, so you can be molded into a state-approved homogeneous drone that cannot think outside of the prescribed consensus. You will learn to repeat information instead of how to think for yourself, so you don't become a threat to the status quo. When you graduate, you will get a job. Pay your taxes in order to perpetuate the corporate system of indentured servitude. And if you think about it, right, read it, it is exactly as it says. You're going to go to school, you know, and you're going to learn all that we're going to tell you to learn, and that's it, nothing else. Yeah, I yield the floor.
You're so correct. You're so correct, man. And I just left the school because I've been dealing with the school. I got little ones, so you know, I did a little post. I was gonna try to post what I was gonna do, but I'm trying to do something because we finna get out of school right now for the summer. So before the summer, I want to go in there and just put critical thinking onto their mind, because for the last 3-4 days I've been going to the school and just asking kids questions that they not used to being asked, and they are so aware, and it's easy. They so much easier than give the truth than anybody else, because they understand that the understand that the programming is not right. They already with it. So when you go to asking the kids questions, they're more receptive to receive the information. They're not so closed-minded. You feel me? They more willing to research the information, because for one, they already rebelling against the teachers in there. And when I go in there in a way where they can relate. I go in there looking like them, and I talk like them, and I just interact with them in a way where they can relate. And all the teachers be like, man, how do you come in here? We've been here for years with them, and you could come in here with a day and just change the whole outlook of the school within a day. So now I'm gonna do a program. I was gonna try to see if any kind of way I can interact with a couple of you guys or something. If we can do some slides online, if I can do it, set it up where we can do this like a live hangout when I'm trying to do it with the kids, because I just want to have a little critical thinking and just let them think about flat earth and just some of the truths, you know what I'm saying, about what's going on in the world. You ask them about the United States, they know that they think it's a country, but then when you let them know that we Americans, we not in the United States, they see it. Let them know that it's black and white. They tell you that you black and it's white, and you let them know that that's a color, and then you let them see it. They get it. They know that they're not black. They know that there's no such thing as white, that we are just one race, and they can get it. So, but about the system don't want them to get it, because they're not giving them the opportunity to think. So it's about us to push it on them. You feel what I'm saying? We have to give them the opportunity, man. Take Flat Earth Team and people like this and put them up on the platform to teach them how to teach the youth. Because that's what it's about.
Huey, take a breath.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go so long-winded. I'm sorry.
No, I loved what he was saying. Clap.
I love it. I love it. I love it. But take a breath, man. Hey, another thing as well. Please go and get a battery. Go and get a new battery and put it in your fire detector, your smoke alarm. Change your smoke alarm, brother. Could save your life one day. Please.
You're right, man. You keep hearing it go beep, beep, beep. That's my alarm, actually. It just go off because I'm moving and walking around my house. I don't know why I keep doing that.
Yeah, change your fire
But
alarm.
yeah, man. Yeah,
Listen,
man.
we've got a young person here. Hopefully, Flat Earth Teens is here. Raven, when they teach you at college, or a part of, or are you basically just looking at a teacher writing on a blackboard, and you're not. There's no interaction here. It's just watching, writing. Is she there?
Yeah.
Raven.
In school now, like even the high schools now, they got computers now. They're not even writing no more. They just typing. They watching and typing. That's it. They don't even teach them how to write no more. And then you go to you go to college, you don't even learn about the universe. Then you go to a university and don't learn nothing about the universe. It's crazy.
Yeah,
She's
like
there
a
now.
factory.
Is that what you feel? Is there any interaction, or you just basically got to sit there and write, copyright? Teachers almost got their back to you and they're just writing things on the blackboard and you just got to write all day long? Or is there any interaction in your college? Which way is it for you?
I actually do online colleges, so I don't actually like go in class. But I'd imagine that's how it'd be.
Karen, what you just said then, that's like, we need to have, okay, we learn from a curriculum, don't we? There is a set curriculum every year, or every term, as they call it. Term, where does that come from? But anyway, this curriculum, every term, they have to learn this, and they have to learn all this, and this, and this, and this, and this, all the way from A to Z, whatever, right? And I just find that nothing changes. And I'm here in Denmark, right? I've done my education to be a carpenter here in Denmark, even though I was a carpenter already. But I relearned it, and I learned the language here and everything. The thing is this, I was at school, I've learned my education whilst I was an adult, but I was, when I was, of course, qualified, the people that I was to work with, their parents themselves have also done exactly the same education with exactly the same drawings, exactly the same questions. Everything was the same. What I did, 10 years ago, as it was 35 or 55 years ago, it's all the same. They've not changed the education. And that's the problem with today, that no one is learning because everything is old and stayed. Nothing is fresh. We might learn about IT, what a bit is and what a byte is, what a megabit is and what a megabyte is, but we're not learning in the sense of, hey, think for yourselves, go out of the box. We're not allowed to go out of the box anymore. You're not even allowed to go out of the classroom anymore. You need to sit in there, get your paper out, get your pen out, copy what's written down, or get your notepad out, write down, take notes of this conversation or this that happened, back in 1947 with these two people. We're not learning anything.
Whoops, sorry, I just had to sort my little dog out. Do you know the one thing that they are doing though?
Oh shit.
Oh, go on then. I was talking. Go on.
I was gonna say, like, I was in a school, right, and I see them. They make them walk on the right side of the hall in line, right? And if you get out of line, you out of line. So what they doing in the school system is making them learn how to stay in line. You feel me? Be part of the program and stay in line, be a law-abiding citizen, and walk the straight and narrow. Anything that goes outside of the line, they go to looking at them and pointing the finger at them and putting them in the box as something that's going to be outside of the box or something outside of the system. So this is how they recognize those who are going to be in the work system or those who are going to be disobedient and be in the detention centers. You feel what I'm saying? Because it's all the system. After the school system, you got the work system, or you got people who are going to be in the world and be a detention system, those who be like rebels and things like that. So they already got you categorized. You feel me? Through the school system. This is how they able to recognize.
Also, I feel a bit sorry for boys, man. school, because if a boy is bored, that's it. It's done. Education's done for them if they're bored. And if there's no interaction, then they're bored. They're just bored. The boys aren't going to be learning enough because they're just bored. You know, sitting there all day long looking at a teacher's back and it's just write, keep writing all day long, learn it, learn. It's boring. They need interaction. And schools are so important because the kids spend so much of their day at school.
You know, Karen, can I just say, an idle mind, right, is the devil's workshop. And I think that the problem with schools nowadays is that we're not allowed to let our children do things off their own bat. They're not allowed to just, you know, be creative or be crazy or, you know, think up something weird, you know. I remember reading, what's he called? Steen Ostoffer. In Danish, it's called Steen Ostoffer, Calvin and Hobbes. In English, right? Calvin and Hobbes, Watterson, Petterson, get the name right. This guy, I mean, if you've not read these cartoons, the guy was a genius, absolutely a genius. I can't speak enough. I loved him. He had obviously issues with mental health and what have you, but if you look at his cartoons, they speak volumes to how he was thinking about things. You know, I mean, this guy really looked at things in a different way, and I think we all need to be in that frame of mind where we need to see things in a different light, see things in a different way, hear things in a different tone. You know, because we're being preached to all the time, or not us in particular, but I mean our children. Now I'm thinking about the kids go to school, they're being preached to all the time, and it's nothing that is going to be of any benefit to them if you think about it, because we're basing all our you know, our hangouts and everything. Now we're flat earthers, we know what's going on. This is not it's not correct that we're being taught. Our children are being taught lies. We need to do something about it. Obviously, we're not doing anything about it except hanging out on hangouts and saying we need to do something about it, you know. I mean, obviously, it's great that Raven's here because she's young. She's still at school. I don't know how young the rest of you all are on the chat here tonight, or in the panel, or on the chat room, sorry. But there is still chance to change things that need changing, because the way that education is at the moment, it's riled with problems, totally, completely riled with problems. And it's there that it needs to be changed, you know. In fact, before the school needs to be changed, it's the educational board and the people that set the books straight. They need to also be set straight before we can continue with education. In a sense, it's almost like, I would say, education, let's just put you on a pause for a bit, write the books correctly, and then you can all come back to school again, and then we'll continue, you know. I yield the floor.
I think they make
can I say something?
Oh yeah.
Go for it, Raven.
Hello?
Go for it, Raven. Go, Raven. We can hear you.
Oh, okay, cool. I just noticed something. We were talking about the school. You know how when they'll what's the word? They'll suspend you for a couple of days. They make it seem like, you know, most kids, they don't like being in school, and it's probably heaven to be suspended or you get in trouble for it. But they're making it out as if being not able to learn from their system is a bad thing, and being suspended from school is like the worst thing that could happen to you, and you get punished for it. And it's really not, because, you know, they're making it seem like being free from the system is something that's not good for you.
That's something you realise, though, isn't it? That's what you realise, this side of it. So it's a very good point, but unfortunately, what do you suggest then, Raven? What would you like to see happening?
Your microphone's breaking up a bit.
Sorry, what would you like to see happening with school? Because, you know, the fact that it's just not interesting enough for anybody, is it? And now you realise that you're only being put into indoctrination.
What I think should happen in the schools, me personally, they should focus on more what the kids' abilities are, right? And what their dreams and goals are, and let them tap into those things, because that would let them flourish in what they're good in. Everybody have their own talents and their own abilities. Everybody not the same. When they got us all on this one form of education, trying to make us all this certain way, when everybody got their own way, should be have their own way of thinking. They got their own dreams and goals that they want to accomplish. If she want to be if she know what she want to be in life, she need to be focusing on that and that only. Let her chase her dreams. Don't try to force your dreams, because they try to force their dreams and their corporations on everybody else and make their dreams flourish. And we push our dreams to the back of our reality and try to live in their reality just to sustain. That's where they're killing us at. That's where they're getting us at, because we can't focus on our dreams because we're trying to sustain within their system. We worried about the bills and all of this other thing, whereas it's all distracting us from what our spirit is telling us that we want to do. You feel me? So if they was tapping into her abilities and just let her flourish in what she sees her ability is, what her spirit is telling her to do, and everyone across the border, it would be great. You feel me? You could put her in a group of scientists or put people, you know.
Huey, in the chat room, Sky Viewers put, schools was an idea to get your kids ready for the future, which was to work in factory and sit in think formation. Disgusting.
You was breaking up. Can you say that one more time?
Breaking up.
Oh, sorry.
Hangouts probably need to update my Hangouts.
I said schools was an idea to get your kids ready for the future, which was to work in factories, have them sit in sync formation. It's disgusting.
Well, can I just say, right, when you think back to the school system, how it all began, we're now, look back at, especially in the United Kingdom anyway, for example, right, we have St. Thomas's, St. Andrews, St. Mary's, St. Peter's, St. Joseph's, but they're all saints, aren't they? Most of the schools we have are, I'm not saying all of them, don't get me wrong now, but the majority that I can remember anyway, they were a term, a form of Catholic school, saint, this, that, or the other. I personally, I went to a school, it was called a Wesley Methodist school. It's been knocked down now, a long time ago, but yeah, and that's the only school that I can remember, and it's the only school that I remember today that was called that, Wesley Methodist School. Of course, I've heard about the Wesleyan, you know, Church Society and all that, yeah, stuff, but it was the only church that I'd heard about. So now we're thinking about education. It all began with saint this, saint that, saint the other. If you think back to a long time before that, it was like the nuns that had nunneries. They were the ones who came with education. You needed to go to a nunnery to learn your education. So, you know, before then it was like, I think most boys worked in the fields, you know, doing the crops and that kind of thing. And the women, of course, young girls or whatever, they went to these nunneries and what have you, until it became quite standard that people would go to schools, boys and girls. I remember my school had an entrance and it had boys, and there was an entrance, it had girls. The high school that I went to after my junior school, this is like aged 11 or something, it was also a segregated school. Before I went there, it wasn't when I went, but before I went there was an entrance for girls and an entrance for boys. You know, I mean, we're talking Victorian times now and thereabouts, if not before. But I mean, times have definitely changed. Things are not the same as what they used to be. And all this schooling, you know, it's just stemming from the Jesuits, it's stemming from, you know, the church, They wanted people in school. They taught them all about religion. They taught them everything we do not need to know. And we're still going there. We're still doing it from today, from that day. We're still there, you know. We haven't progressed in any sense in that sense, if you know what I mean. We're still sending our children to these Catholic schools, St. Mary's, St. Joseph's, Peter's, John's, whatever you want to call them, whatever. And they're still being indoctrinated with exactly probably the same books that they had 200, 300, 400 years ago, whenever it was, you know. Yeah, I yield the floor.
Is that like that in America? Are all the schools Saint something, or are the schools not like that in America? Just asking. Huey or Josh or Raven, are all the schools Saint something out there?
Are the schools what?
Are all your schools in America like Saint something, the junior schools and things, or are they not? Do they not have names like that? Because it's true. It's the C of E. It's the C of something over here. It's something to do with religion.
Oh, so you said like, do all the middle schools say stuff like Saint Mary or things like that?
Huey, you've moved away from your microphone.
What about now? Can y'all hear me?
That's it. It's perfect. Go for it.
So you saying was the school? Did the schools have Saint on it and stuff like that? That's what you're asking?
Yeah.
Yeah, some of them. You know, we got Martin Luther King. You know, they have the little basic. You know what I'm saying? You got Renaissance, and you know, they named after a lot of presidents and Theodore Roosevelt. You got Benjamin Mays. You know what I mean? Just the basic. Around here, that's what I see. Wow.
Asking Costa, what's it like in Cyprus?
Yeah, it's very similar. Yeah, all schools are connected to the church. That's where it all goes. But the thing is, we have to look where it all starts from. Because the ancients, in the ancient Greeks especially, they look at the education in a different way. Especially at the time of Plato, around 300 BC, where the actual school system, let's say, that we have today, somehow started, and they got their information from India, from the Hindus, you know, those yogi or Buddhists, and they started looking. But basically, they had the three major subjects. It was mathematics, astrology, and music. Okay, these three go together. They are very similar. They're basically the one and the same, let's say. But the way they are looking at mathematics, let's say, was they were looking up. They were looking up to the divine. Yeah, it's not loud. Now we're looking down. We are looking at it literally, you know, start to finish, you know, A to Z, that's it. We don't see the meaning of the sound of the music or the mathematics, like they were counting the stars, for example. And from the stars, they made shapes and they started calculating. And then the astrology, the other part, that they had all the 12 signs, and they will explain their myths from that. And then music again, it's like holy. You have to describe it. It's divine. And they were looking at it from a different perspective, isn't it? Now it's all to finish school and to get a job. You know, it's all related with money and, you know, with matter. It's down to matter. So we're losing touch, I think, with nature. We're trying to set laws on nature. Even it's like it's outrageous, and it's not. It's the opposite. we're going the other way. But I think whatever they do, however much they try, the opposition is greater. Yeah, you understand what I mean? They can't go against nature. They can't do such a big change. Something will happen. And I think people are realizing now more and more every day. And at some point it's going to have like a ripple effect, something big. Yeah. I like to be optimistic.
It goes back to what
now, isn't it? Carry on. Huey?
Yeah, I think it goes back to what they like you say, they making us unorganic, right? So they trying to make us artificial. They trying to make us artificial intelligence. They try to make us feel depend on everything that's artificial. So we will be that's what artificial intelligence is. And that's why you get the robot that they got now, Sophie or whatever, the new human bot that they got. And that's what they trying to turn us into. They trying to take our minds and like put our mind in a box so they can put it in a box, literally put it in another body and make our minds be in mechanical ways. You feel what I'm saying? So we can operate in a system without question and just think that we're doing what the system would be, because it'll make us know that we are a system. They're making us a system so we can operate like a system. You feel what I'm saying?
Exactly, that's it. It's like a computer. How do you program a computer? You play a program like if this is not right, you go there. If it's not here, you go the other way. And it's the same programming. You do it exactly on a human mind, on a computer. And now they know this, how it works. They have this knowledge. That's why they do it.
Yep, and how you make a computer operate or a robot move by pushing its buttons. So this is what they do with the media and through TV and stuff. It's like they push our buttons, which is our emotional buttons, to make us react. You feel what I'm saying? So that's how this is how they're able to do it.
Yeah, and they feed off our fears, our negative feelings. Somehow they feed through them, so they need us doing all this fear and this anger mechanism, and also not only through fear, also through, let's say, from the movies, from media, from theater, anywhere, football or something. They absorb that energy. So we have to stop this.
You correct. Fear, confusion, and chaos.
Yeah,
they can control us with those things right there. Fear, confusion, and chaos. You know what I'm saying? Because and you're right, man. Fear is definitely one of the biggest things that they use to get our mind to control us, to get away from eating nature, and start eating beast and become a bestiality. Because when they start stripping our flesh off and wearing our flesh, it's like, damn, they were sick enough to do that. So it put us in a state of shock. And the same thing like they did with the so-called slaves, they beat them and put that fear into them, so you were scared to get away. You feel me? So fear plays a major part, because fear, it makes us scared to step out of the box, because we're scared of what they're gonna do to us, or we'll be arrested or ridiculed for being different. The fear of being different. We can't get past the fear of what no one else think about us. Like, that's a fear alone. So like, man, you so right.
And also with the animals, with the bees you were talking before, the mosquitoes and all that. Yeah, but those are more live. They are free, at least in the nature, whatever happens. Again, it's not good what they're doing, of course, but what about the other animals that die, that they are slaughtered? They're slaughtered, they suffer. They take their babies away. They do the worst things, you know what I'm talking about. So that also creates that negative energy. It's like, it's terrible. I think the earth is crying. It's like, it's our mother. So the earth, let me tell you another one. So the earth in Greek it's a female. Yeah, Iyi. It's a Gaia, like you say. it's a female. So it's a feeling of the mother, basically. That's what it does to us. And they're trying to disconnect us from that as well. So we're being thrown from everywhere. They're trying to get us. I think anything we see, anything we hear, it must be all fake. It's incredible, yeah.
Yeah, when you know the truth, it's all incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, whatever. Any way you see it, it's like mad. It's like we're dealing with psychic dictators. What words to say?
Yeah, you realise how horrible it is. Which I'd realised a bit longer, because I would have done things differently. But hey, it's better to wake up, isn't it, than not to wake up in the end.
Yeah, of course. Of course, whatever we do, try to help the situation. Like Russian Beats was saying last night, about the checkerboard. Yeah, do you remember that? He was saying something about the checkerboard. So what it is, right? It's a symbolic. It's a Masonic symbol. It's on the bottom. They always have the checkerboard. These are two pillars and the dome, the firmament on top. Yeah, and under they have the checkerboard. So they basically are playing humanity on chess. They are playing us on like a chess game, exactly. And on the colors are black and the white. Okay, the black means like ignorance. The white is the knowledge. So with knowledge, we can beat them. We still trying to find the rules of the game, but we are getting there.
Yeah, they've had many, many years to indoctrinate us and do all these things, haven't they? It's going to take a while to undo what they've done.
To undo, yes, okay. It's gonna be a fight. Let's see. Like David
Just asking
and
you, by the way, then, Costa.
Yes.
In Cyprus, are they flat earthers there, or are they more sort of they're indoctrinated?
I don't know, because
are there people
I haven't been back for some time. And last time I left, I didn't know about this stuff. But I saw it here in Greece. In Greece is a bigger movement. Here the Greeks are more advanced, let's say, and they're more, of course, it's a bigger country. There they know more things. Yeah, there are. But I'm hoping when I go back, I'll start telling them.
Yeah.
Because we have a big manipulation as well. We've been divided, the division with everybody. And now, you know, this army, the English, the Americans, the French, they're all setting from Cyprus. When they throw the bombs to Syria, it's from the bases in Cyprus.
Well, hopefully with people like Raven, who's younger, so there's, you know, things will change. We need the change. How many people in the chat room want the change?
Oh, did you send Dread the link?
Yeah, I sent it
come
to
in.
him.
You want to come in, and you need the link again.
Yeah, I've sent it to him. I think he's seen it. We are just waiting for him to come on then. Where are are you? Come in. He's got the link. But Raven, you can always send it to him if he's having a problem. Where's Big Dread?
He's coming in.
He's coming. We're waiting. We're waiting. Come on, Big Dread.
Can I say something before? Oh, he's here now. But just
he's here now. Hey.
I think I'm in. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Hello. How are you?
How y'all doing?
good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are.
Afternoon.
Yeah,
Good afternoon.
I'm doing pretty good. How y'all brothers and sisters doing today?
Awesome.
We're always putting the world to right with what's wrong, and we've just been talking about the education system.
I'm breaking up a little bit. What'd you say?
I said we've been talking about the education system.
Oh, the education system. Oh man, I could go on for days about that. How screwed up that is.
Only days.
That's what it is. It's an indoctrination system.
Yeah, that's what we've been saying. Just to explain, Big Dread, obviously we've got your daughter on here. There is Josh, Flat Earth Unity. Yeah. We've got Huey. And there's Levkungfu, Patricia from the UK, Astral, who's an Englishman, but he lives in Denmark. And we've got Costa, who comes from Cyprus. But we've just been doing about the indoctrination. We've talked a little bit about raven and modified mosquitoes and animals. It's horrible, isn't it? It's just so horrible.
Yeah, they're talking about releasing, I think, like 50 million a week or something like that. And I think we talked about this a few days ago, and how they, because that could destroy our natural ecosystem. We can see that they're already trying to destroy it now, but it's going to have a domino effect when you start tampering with nature like that. Nature is going to fight back, and it could be disastrous for us humans, because that's even, like I said, anytime you mess with the ecosystem, any ecosystem, and you start to disrupt it, that ecosystem itself will collapse on top of itself. So when they doing even with them messing with the weather, that's a separate ecosystem that we have within our plane. You understand? Tornadoes. That's why we have tornadoes. These hurricanes are ramping up. All these volcanoes starting to erupt and stuff like that. When you start messing with the ecosystem collapse, and that's what we're witnessing right now. I don't know if these people think they got somewhere safe to hide. I don't know. Why would they do this? I mean, they're completely destroying the place that we live, and it's sad to to sit here and see it. And it's even worse because it's like, for those of us that's awake, we're watching it burn right before us. You got a lot of people that sleep out there. They don't know. They just ignorant to the facts of what's truly going on. So they have no idea. But for those who are awake like ourselves, we're watching this burn, and that's one of the reasons why as of late I've been talking about us truthers changing the way we go about doing a lot of stuff, especially when it comes to making things actually happen.
Can I interrupt you there?
Go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, it's because Costa was also on about that a minute ago, about it's the rules of the game, right? We need to change the rules of the game. We need to play the game. We need to play the game better than they play the game, if you understand what I'm saying. you know.
And you're right. And I apologize for cutting you off, but I don't want to lose train of thought. You're absolutely right, because the problem that I think a lot of us truthers have is that we will allow outside entities to create fear within us in some cases. Because if you decide, like say I decide to play that game, even though all my intentions are good, people are going to call me a shield. They're going to say I'm an agent. Oh, you're with them. We have to start ignoring that, because we have to look at the bigger picture. If we really want to change it, we have to play the game in order for us to turn it inside out. We have to be on the inside in order to do it. That's exactly how the elites was able to take control of our plane to begin with. They had to infiltrate in order to take over. So now we need to infiltrate to get it back. It's as simple as that. If they call it shield, so what?
Forgive me for saying this, but if you can't beat them, join them. And I don't mean it in that sense, but what I mean is, let's beat them at their own game, man. You know.
Exactly.
We're not allowed to join them, but we can flip and beat them by being clever enough that we can, you know. We are many. We are so many. We are so many. You know, and we can do this. We really can. We got. I don't know how many people that are, you know, much smarter than flipping Einstein, for God's sake, you know.
Yeah, I mean, let's look at the game. We see this game being played every day. Okay, now we're supposed to be attacking Syria, and we can even go back into the past when we invaded Iraq. Now, all these incidents has a pattern to it, and I notice how they always come out, and the first thing they say is women. They use women and children as a bargaining chip. They get on the news. They're killing women and children. They never really. They don't even care about men at all. Apparently, they're killing women and children. We need to go save them. Okay, we get it. You use that, so you want us to go in there. But what I always notice, after they announce the fact that these so-called dictators are killing these innocent women and children, they always go to another segment where they're showing that the people are coming together, and they go in and drag out the dictator. They beat him up, and you know, he's all bloody. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. All that power, all that military might, you mean to tell me I'm talking about even Iraq, Gaddafi, they drug him out of his palace. So I was thinking, you mean to tell me that in 24 hours, in one day, you telling me in one day, a person that's the president or dictator can be drugged out of their out of the White House or whatever, their palace or whatever. It just takes the people to come together and everything collapse in less than 24 hours. Why do we not learn from that? Because we are the majority here, not the minority. They're making fun. They're showing us how easy it is to take down somebody within hours of their power, just by the people coming together. Even though we know that it's our government that goes over there and get the people to do that. It's a trap. But it shows us.
Sorry, brother. The problem is we are not organized in that sense. I mean, don't get me wrong. We are many, but we are so disorganized and we're all over the place, you know. And I think for us to be effective, we really need to, you know, collaborate, and we need to come together. I mean, closer together, get tight, and then we can begin to make, you know, changes, profound changes that we wish to see. And don't get me wrong now. I think we're all in this together, and we all really wish to see profound changes. And the only way that it's going to happen is to, hey, let's do something about it, you know. We're not just talking about it. I mean, really doing something about it, you know. And we have been talking about things like this for a long time now. So I don't know. I mean, we need to get somewhere anyway. Like you say, let's go ahead.
Yeah, I agree.
Y'all so right, man. But it comes down to this, man. The division, the difference in everything that is going on is we can't come together as a people for one thing. Like we won't deal with another person because we don't like them for one difference. Out of everything that they do, they could be the greatest person in the world. But just because because I'm a Muslim and you're a Christian, we can't get past that one thing. So they know this. Long as they got us operating in the state of where we're divided or some type of competition, right? Or a debate. Long as we at a state where it's a debate going on, we would never come together because we can't see eye to eye. You know, until we all
I
see
agree.
eye to eye and realize that it ain't. See, this is what you got the conscious community tearing down us because they so pro black, right? It's no different than being pro white, right? It's a separation at the end of the day where you got to realize that it's all about togetherness. The only separate thing that's going on around the world, right? And there's one common denominator. It's the system versus the people. The system versus the people. When we can realize that the people ain't the enemies with each other, and we can stop debating the people and going against each other's ideologies and each other's views and each other's. You feel what I'm saying? Let's go against their
Yeah.
views because that's what the problem is with. The problem
Huey,
ain't with nobody on the close.
Huey,
Trying to convince.
brother, you know, we are the solution. We are the solution. Every single one of us here, we are the solution. We've got it in our hands. We have it in our heads. Whilst we're all talking here together, we can all collectively come together and find this solution. You know, we can do it. Like Dred said, we're not the minority. We are the majority. You know, we will always be the majority. Always.
You
No
know
matter
what,
how many
Astral,
ballers come, we will be the majority. Sorry.
that's right. Yeah, what you are saying about coming together like the bees. You know the bees, how they operate, how they work together. They are connected
You know,
with the mother, with the queen bee. Okay, they are connected with the queen bee, and she sends in like the signals wherever, and they go and do their job, and they do it perfectly when they are together. I mean, the stuff they do to produce the honey and everything, it's all up to certain temperatures, and they have to make the nest in a certain place with some shadow. It's incredible how clever it is just because they are together. So the thing is with us, we are disconnected from the mother, from that source.
I agree.
That's what happens. We have to connect to the source. It's no other way.
That's another
Because
form of division. I mean,
I would tell you my theory. Okay, let's say I go down to Buckingham Palace. I give them my passport. Here's my passport. Here's my ID. Here's my money. Here's my all the paperwork I have. You know, and I tell them, I don't want to belong to the system. Goodbye. Yeah.
and I agree. It's
Say
like
everybody does it. Say everybody does it. Yes. What's going to happen next? Say we don't have money. Who's going to do the jobs that they do now?
Hey, you give me a brilliant idea there, Costa. Right? We could have remember back in the '60s, they burnt the Beatles albums and stuff. They had book burning sessions in America, and they had the different things where people have been outraged by whatever it was. And then they've just burnt them. Well, we're outraged. We could just get our passports and say, you know what? Bonfire. Throw your passport on the bonfire.
Yeah.
And we just burn their fuckers up, man.
Yes. Imagine
I have no
doing
passport.
this.
I am a human. I belong
to
this flat plane. I don't have a country. I belong here on Earth. This piece of soil is Earth, and I belong here. It belongs to me, belongs to you, belongs to us all. So, bye-bye. I'll give them that finger.
Yeah, I guess we can burn a couple of those globes at the same time. but
if you do it in many
now go ahead,
places,
brother. I'm sorry.
If you do this in many places at the same time around the earth, whether are they going to put it on the news? If they put it on the news, maybe it's going to be worse for them. So we have to think all the moves. It's a chess game. You know how to play chess. You have to think. It's a whole strategy. We have to get everything without a mistake. We have to see their next move, our move. But for the moment, we are scattered. We have the ideas, yeah, we have the positive unified thought, but we need some more, yeah, plan, something concrete.
But you know what? They've really done it at the base, though, haven't they? Because they've turned all the people against each other. It doesn't matter what colour you are. It doesn't matter what colour your skin is. They've turned you against one way or another. Everybody hates everybody else, and they have to get away from that because we're one, really. Especially, we have to get away from it.
Well, like Costa was saying before, right, about this, it's a big game. It is a big, giant game, you know, and we really just have to figure out how to play this game and then beat them at it, right? Basically, that's it. I know it's basically sacked or basically said, but it's a bit of a harder nut to crack than just saying it, isn't it? But I mean, where do we go from here? We have to get together. We have to collaborate and think, you know, ahead, plan things, and think intelligently. Like, you know, I mean, not just some sort of stupid twiddle or babble or whatever. You know, we can do
patience. I agree. And one of the things that the elites had was patience. They slowly for surely completely took over. They got everybody in the right positions that they need them to be in. And I think that that's exactly what we're going to have to do. We have to do the same thing because they didn't show their true colors before they got in these positions. They pretended to be something they was not. And then by the time people realized who these people were, it was too late. You see what I'm saying? So I think that we got to have that drive as well. We got to have that drive that they had when they took over to take it back. And we have to, like, again, we have to start making moves because, you know, I've been talking about, the flat earth, the Antarctic Treaty, but yet the treaty still, all of us that know about the Antarctic Treaty, the treaty still exists. Has nothing been done about it. So I'm to the point of my life, I'm ready for whatever the family needs from me. I am ready because I don't want to sit here for another 10 years talking about an Antarctic Treaty, have the knowledge of this Antarctic Treaty, and never do nothing about it. You see what I'm saying? So we have to start making something really happen. Something.
Maybe, Dredd, something about that Antarctic Treaty.
Boycott.
That was from 1959, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like
that. About that.
The thing is, I'm not talking about it in a violent way. I'm talking about being smart about how we do it, you know, because once violence break out, that's going to be their excuse to bomb and do all and calling in martial law. And what I'm saying is we have to be smart about the way we do it, though. But we still need to do something because we don't do nothing. We basically just going to continue talking about it.
Yeah. Well, we spoke about this a few months back as well. A bloodless revolution. That's what's necessary. And we've also spoke about before that during times of, I don't know how many hundreds of years, every so often there needs to be a revolution. There has to be like some form of reset within certain countries. I don't know when there was last a revolution over here in Europe. I'm not that much of a historian. I know a few things in but not everything. That I think is a necessity right now. This era that we're going through, age of Aquarius, age of the golden era, we need to have this kind of progression where we need to move forward and do something about it, if you know what I mean.
You know what they do though,
we gotta
everybody
realize
everybody's watching the television.
Where is it
it's being focused on wars and lies and wars and lies and fear and lies and fear and fear. It's just nothing but fear. So don't know how we get them to stop watching the television for a start.
They
realize that it's a game.
You're right. It's fear, and fear is a part of the division. They got us to the point where we fear each other. You fear your own brothers and sisters. And I noticed that in almost every aspect of our life, there is something that's dividing us from one another. Our color, what food you eat, the way you wear your hair, the way you dress. I mean, it's like it's so many different layers of division that they created because they knew these people think, like I said, and y'all are 100% right about this. They think ahead of 10, 50, 100 years in advance. That's how they plan their moves. And they created so many different layers of division. It's almost like, which one should we attack first? Me, I talk about unification because unifying the people attacks all of them simultaneously. You see what I'm saying? But they got us divided in so many different ways that they knew it was going to cause so much confusion. Religion, you name it. Everybody's divided on so many different topics. It's insane. So I think that if we could bring the people together, all the division will fade away. And I'm serious. And I say that if anybody, I'm the person that think like this. I would rather unite with my brothers and sisters, go and fight the real fight, not shedding no blood. That's the last result of anything. But fight the real fight. And if we do have a misunderstanding, we can wait until we get free to discuss that. All that petty nitpicking and all this, you're an agent, you're a shield, we worried about that person, worried about that. No, man, these people are killing our kids. They're poisoning the people. They're poisoning our earth. You understand what I'm saying? They done completely disconnected the frequency between humanity and Mother Nature. You understand that? And they taking all this money from us. Like, dude, we're paying for our own destruction on top of that. We come together, all that gets eliminated. I would rather bicker, not even bicker, I would rather discuss anything I need to discuss. I'd rather do that as a free man, not a slave. And I'll yield on that.
Hey, we have to realize where it's going to hurt them at. What is going to hurt them? The money, and how we hurt them through technology, right? Because that's what they're utilizing against us. So we got to hit them where it's going to hurt them at, man. You feel me? We ain't talking about no war, because this is not what they doing, is warring. I mean, fight. We can't beat them with the fight, with the physical fight. We have to use our mind and our sense, our common sense, to go against their physical sense, man. And hold on,
sorry to interrupt you there, Huey, but I agree. Yeah, totally right there. But how about a silent, bloodless revolution in that sense? No one says a word. No one says anything. We just hold up like a piece of paper,
nah, man,
banner or whatever.
We done been silent, man. We done turned the other cheek enough. We done turned the other cheek. It ain't about being silent. It's about taking action, man.
Yeah, but Huey,
we done talked. We done talked enough.
You misunderstand me. I don't mean silent in the sense of silent. Of course, noisy in the sense of noisy, but no sound. Very, very noisy, but no sound. We can all have 1,000 banners holding up, and be like, I don't know how many people, but silent, because
you have to move in silence.
Silence is golden. The sound of silence says more than anything.
You feel me? I feel where the brother coming from, because think about this here. We think about this, my brother. Can you imagine we get 20 to 50 people in places and high places that we need them to be to start taking our rights back? We don't need them running their mouth. We need them to play the game. So we have to move in silence. That's how they got us. They didn't come out saying, "Oh yeah, we're gonna be bombing people. Elect me." You feel me? That we have to move in silence, but we have to move very smart. You understand? It ain't. But trust me, it's gonna make a lot of noise, but they won't hear it. You feel what I'm saying? We're gonna make a lot of noise, but they won't hear it. And we cannot let them hear it, because we don't need it. We don't even want them to have their attention on us. We want them to believe. I would rather for them to believe they already won, because that's how you beat them. Let them believe they won this war already, and that's how we beat them. You feel me?
Definitely, bro. I definitely agree. What I'm saying is, I agree with both of you brothers is right. But what we have to do is we have to start organizing in small bunches, silently though. Like what we doing, right? We doing good, but we do a lot of just like the other brother was saying, we be on the hangouts and we doing all these things. Let's put together some type of action where we organize some type of like in my mind, like if we know that money is worth nothing, this fiat is worth nothing, and we know that it's a promissory, it's just a note to pay, right? Okay, we just take a Thursday. The summer finna come up. We know, like, we're gonna take the first 3 Thursdays of the next month, and we're gonna all just go promissory note crazy at a certain point in time where it's like at 1 o'clock Eastern time, and it coincides with that time all the way around the world. So we doing it at the exact same time, and we doing things like going live with it, and you know, just make make it go viral, and make it a challenge. Make it a challenge. You feel what I'm saying? Where it can go viral. And this is how you get the attention on it without having attention. I understand we don't want attention, but we want to bring the attention to the forefront, to the masses, that this is going on, because these people is out here operating and trying to use promissory notes. You know, it wasn't nothing but 1,000 of them, but look at what's going on, so the people can look at it. You know what I'm saying? Why we got another plan going on at the same time, because we have to start moving, because the masses, they sleep. They sleepwalking. They sleepwalking, and they're not coming to our channels. They keeping them confused with the distractions, so they can't come get the information. They watching the NBA finals. They watching all this distraction, because this is what they're gonna do. They're gonna keep the mind distraction, because they already got their attention. So they know how to keep their attention, to keep them distracted on what they got their attention on. So the only way for us to get their attention is to make noise. It's like a gimmick. It's like a gimmick. It's like Young Thug throwing on a dress to get the attention of the people, to make them look at them first. Then I can goddamn hit you with my whoopty whoop. You gotta suck in there, man.
Like every day, like one day, even if it's one day out, you know how much money they'll lose if everybody was to just sit home at one time and do not buy a single product.
Right. Or don't watch no TV, no electricity.
They would lose their mind.
They would lose their mind, but we have to orchestrate that correctly. Like, that's something that we can do that they can see, that they don't have to see. They'd be like, oh man, all our broadcasting networks, we just lost all our viewers in a whole week. What's going on? They would lose their mind.
Good evening, Sean G. Sorry, Huey. Sean G just turned up.
Sean G, what's good, brother?
What's up, sir?
Hi, Sean G.
Hi, how you doing, Karen? Thanks for having me on.
Cool, you got on all right. I was trying to invite you there, but you got on okay, so that's good.
Yes.
We're in a deep discussion here.
Yeah, I noticed the panels got a lot of people on it.
Hashtag no Walmart Wednesdays. Nobody go to Walmart on Wednesdays. Boy, if you make something like that go viral, man, they will lose it. They will lose it. You could turn, like you said, you could turn it into a trend, since that's what, especially with a lot of these kids, they just follow the trend. And a lot of them would do it just to be with the in crowd. They wouldn't even know the full extent, but it'll still help us. It'll help everybody. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I noticed about today's, and that's why I feel the brother when he say use the game against them. We know how easy people follow trends. So start a trend. And people would just follow it just so they could be in the in crowd. Oh, that's what everybody doing? I'm gonna do it too. Not realizing how important it would be for them to actually do it. They think it's a game, they think it's fun. We know how serious it is, but I think that'd be a good idea. Use these tools that they put out to go against us and use it against them. Hashtag it, put it on Facebook, no Walmart Wednesdays or whatever. Just hurt them. That money do hurt, man. We get away from that dollar, even if it's for once or twice a week, it would hurt them. Same thing with TV.
Just for real, bro. For real, it would shake them up, because they went, man. It would shake them up, bro, because they wouldn't know what happened, man. Just something like, man, else. Look, man. Because look, just imagine if we was across the board, right? If you take 1,000 people, just like where I'm from, right? We all go to Walmart, right? And we go to Walmart with all promise. We fill the carts up. And when we get to the thing to pay, we pull out the promissory note. If they don't accept it, they have to put the stuff back. The next person in line, they do the same thing. The next person in line, they do the same thing. If we got 100 people in there, right, by the time they see that what's going on, about the 20th person, they're gonna be like, what's going on? And we just say, hey, everybody, they're not gonna accept our promissory notes. Let's go to Kroger. Let's go to, you feel what I'm saying? Let's walk over, walk across to Kroger, and let's do it.
Huey, well, something that, all right, that's good as well, that they get denied. But what would be good is if you can go to a place where you give a promissory note and they accept them, Hey, that's good. We can all do that.
Yes, but that's coming with the organization. If we can organize somebody who's down with the movement to be at a register at the time, and we go through and they accept it, that'll be even greater. You feel me?
Hit
But
'em.
that's how we need to organize it within the
Hit 'em.
community, that we got some
Hit 'em.
employees at these places where we set up to go in there and let them know that we're going to come in there at this certain time and we move it like
Hit
that.
them the same day. Hit them the same day within a certain time frame or whatever, and then they won't know what's hit them. Or maybe they will. Oh no, the flat earthers are coming, man.
The good thing about it is when you even when we talk about this, which is great, and I'm down with it all. I'm loving this bill. But one thing, what makes it more beautiful is even when we talk about doing different things, it all stems back us being unified. And that's why I think that unification is so important, because it would not be successful if we do not come all together. And I yield on that.
Yes, sir. That shows our unity right there. That lets you know that everybody on your channel, it ain't a shield. You feel me? The people who watching in are really down for the movement. Because if we all agree that we're going to do it, it shouldn't be nothing that be should said. We should know that next Thursday, we're going to all come on this live platform. Dre going to be on his platform. Sun and Moon going to be on their platform. Bro Sanchez going to be on this platform. Whoever else going to be on their platform. And we're going to be live doing it. So we're going to see who with us and who ain't with us. So you'll be able to tell, and the movement would grow, whether it was 10 people to do it at one time or not. But it's about, let's say this is what we're going to do and doing it. And then let's see what happens, because we don't never know if we just say we're going to do it and don't do
it. You mean you want a bit more than talking now?
Yeah, because if we get 10 people to do it and we can broadcast it, then guess what? Next week, we're going to have 20 people to do it, because we're going to make sure that each person bring at least one more person with them. This is simple. It ain't hard. They gonna do a challenge on everything else. You can get them to eat pepper, peanut butter, plank. You can get them to do everything else. If we can show them that this is going to work, that you can that fiat is a note, the promissory note. If we can just show them all of this information and have it written out right, and show them the exact way how to write the promissory note and to operate it, hey man, it's a go. They're gonna try it.
As Dire Straits once sang, "Money for nothing and your chicks for free."
So, any more ideas on this then, Big Dread, about how we do this then? Hello.
That sound like that might be a good go then. That sound like that might be a good idea. Nobody else got nothing else to suggest. I suggest that we try that. That's a start. Why not? Why we need any more suggestions? I suggest that we try this in the next 2 weeks. Let's all promote it and say that we create a name. It's the challenge, the system challenge, or whatever we come up with. A promissory note challenge or whatever.
Sounds good,
let's
right?
Start moving.
We have in Sun and Moon Group, Rich. And also David Indiglow, and I do believe that those two characters can help us with a promissory note. If Rich hasn't already sent one to me via email at some earlier opportunity, he has done already. I know that, so could have a look into it. But it'll be awesome. Print them out. This is it. This is for £10, $10, whatever. Let's do it, guys, girls.
That's dope, man. I like that, man. I like that, bro. I like that a lot, man. I think that'll work great, man. And then also we can do it with the banks as well, because we know that the banks ain't supposed to be creating fiat. They supposed to be printing silver and gold, which they making this fake money. So we can go to them. We can go with them with the bill of credits. Take your bills that you getting in and write it out as if you get a bill like a light bill or a credit bill, you take it to the bank and deposit it as a bill of credit. Go through the rings with that. They got to point us in the right direction. They can't just say no. It ain't against the law to go in there with your information to your bank and try to deposit something such as a bill of credit, what they're supposed to acknowledge.
Exactly. I think it would be good to. Well, I will personally write to David and ask him how we will go about doing this. If we want to put a bill in, like you say, this is deposit, or if we want to send over a promissory note, and obviously what we can get out of that. I'll ask him, set him up, tell him our little plan that we've got, in our minds here, and see what help he can avail us, and hopefully it's going to be good. So I yield the floor.
So we all do this together. So my panel's gone a little bit slow because we have got 10 people on here, but they've all gone quiet right now.
Yeah, my bad. Dred walked away, and I was just sitting, listening to him, and I was eating.
How do you feel about things when you hear people talk like this, Raven? Do you like it though for the future? Do you like it?
Yeah, I really do. It's really inspirational to sit and listen to these things.
We definitely need a change because it's damn bad. Everybody can feel it, can't we? Whether they've changed that the frequency we live under, because it can go from heaven to hell. But everybody can feel how horrible it is. Can you? Because I can for months now. There's just something not good out there. Now, and this bit about turning the people against each other, We've got to stop fighting or worrying or arguing with each other. The only way we'll get through this is if we actually come together, get rid of the ego side of things, which is part of this globe world, and a bit differently. Sean G, what do you reckon then? Oh, who's good in the talk? Sorry.
Give them some time off. Go tell them to take holidays, like 100 years or something. We have another plan. So freeze your accounts, your paperwork, everything, and leave us alone. And if in 100 years we don't make a change, we can go back to their system. What do you think?
Well, we don't need politicians, do we? I mean, just look what they've done.
We don't,
Embezzling, lying, stealing, cheating, just about anything satanic they seem to be doing, the whole lot. We don't want them. Are they good? What do you call it? What's the word? Are they good things to look up to? No, they're not. And if the politicians are doing it, the people are going to do it.
Exactly.
What is there to look up to? Nothing at the moment, is there?
I'll tell you what there is to look up to. Chemtrails.
Oh, damn, yeah. Those damn things.
Good one.
Sorry, who was talking then? There's 10 people on the bag. It's gone. Who just said something? Someone on the panel.
Yeah, I said a joke and someone said good one, I think. That's what I heard. Anyway, it's because of my awesome joke-telling capabilities. No, yep. And then it went quiet. But Karen, you are chopping up a little bit there. You sounded remotely like a Dalek sometimes.
I think people on the Hangouts, and my slow, hasn't it? Well, carry on then. Carry on talking. You're talking about stuff. Everybody's gone quiet now.
No, I think this too, man. We give them enough energy. We add to their energy. More that we talk about it, we got to stop giving them energy and our mindset. We have to change our mindset to start thinking certain and giving them energy and what they got going on, because we give them so much energy and power by talking about these things and giving them energy. We have to change our frame of thoughts and say that this shit is not real. Pardon my French, but we got to say that this is not reality and make our reality what we want it to be. You know what I'm saying? Stop giving their energy reality. Their reality energy.
Yeah, because the news, all the television, it's all Dynasty Dallas, the whole thing. It's all a game.
It's like if we know that they got spells on us, right? And we know that if we say trick or treat, we add into the energy of that spell, right? Right? It's the same thing when we talk about this round earth or we talk about the problems that we in. We keep walking ourselves into this hole.
Mm. Yeah, but a lot of us are frustrated because we want some change. Big time. You actually realise what they're doing to you in the game. Gee, are you there? Everybody's all muted. This is a really weird thing on a hangout and everybody's muted.
Put some music. You have to put
Walking
some
around and I don't want any static to be inside the microphone.
If we play music, we'll probably be striked. Can't really do much on a hangout.
I can sing a song. It won't take too long.
No, in the beginning, when you start the show, you have to put a nice song, and maybe at the end or something. Or we can sing or something.
The earth is flat. Da,
Get
da,
a
la,
mix.
la, la, la. The earth is flat. Boop, 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 boop. The earth is flat.
And that's a fact.
And that's a fact.
Yeah, I kind of like that jam actually. It's kind of good. Kind of good.
I just think it's disgusting what they've put us in. There's no other words. It's disgusting. I think that's how we all feel, though, isn't it, really? It's disgusting. And I really pity for people who've got small children and got to go through the education system unless they're not going to put them through it. What about you, Astral? You've got a son going through the educational system.
Yeah. He's just started actually going to school now, just to have a look, like, you know, not to actually go there. He's only 6. It's wrong, isn't it? Obviously, we are aware that we've been lied to and deceived and all that kind of stuff. But it's a new thing for all of us. I mean, this is like the last few years, and it's going that deep that I think that even the people that are doing the deceiving are not even aware of what it is they're actually doing, if you understand what I mean. It's going that deep. It's been going on for that long that it's kind of a perpetual, you know, it's like a Stirling engine. It's just going now of its own free will and accord, you know. We don't have to do anything. We're trying to stop it. We're throwing spanners in the works kind of thing by being flat earthers. But this globe, you know how it is. We can see it everywhere. We can see it in the schools, the educational system. Every time the news comes on, there's a flipping picture of some CGI picture of a globe or whatever, usually something from outer space. When you see a film, same shit again, where you're seeing some sort of a planet zooming in or, you know. I mean, this is so deep that it's really, yeah, I can't say it's a uphill battle and we're going to lose, but it's going to be a flipping struggle, that's for sure. And we just got to continue, keep at it in this vein, you know, and hopefully wake as many people up as we can every day. You know, I yield the floor.
Mm. Yeah, well, hopefully.
Different things.
Yeah, go on, Costa. Oh, Lev. Go on, Lev.
Yeah, I think it's different things that appeal to different people. Like, I saying certain things to certain people, it'd come off differently to have a react to it and stuff. I don't know. I think I don't know. Never mind. I'll come back to that.
No, I just want to mention some words that Russian Beats was saying last night. About the planet, I think we're making a mistake, a huge mistake here, calling the Earth a planet, because it's not. And an airplane, when you say airplane, it doesn't mean plane like plane. Plane means wandering. So the planet, last time I checked, let me see, I think I wrote it down. Yeah, it's planet.
You can call it a planet, but not a planet.
Yes, but
a planet.
Yes, but the plan you say in the beginning doesn't mean plane. Plan means wandering. Because it's a Greek word, planidis. So the meaning, if you see in the dictionary, it says it's a celestial body that is in orbit around the sun, has sufficient mass for its self-gravity to overcome rigid body forces, so that it assumes a hydrostatic equilibrium, a nearly round shape. Yeah? So the Earth is not a planet. You understand me? It's a wrong
It's
definition.
a realm. It's a realm.
Yeah, it's a realm. Exactly. It's a realm. It's in the middle of the torus field, right in the middle, and it's a realm. It's wrong to call it a planet. And the same with the airplane. It means something that's wandering in the air. That's what a plane means. And also another word we're making a mistake we shouldn't be saying. It is the word atmosphere. Because atmosphere, it's two words in one. It's atmos and sphere, atmosphera. So atmos means steam, basically, steam, and sphera means sphere. So the steam of the sphere, which basically is that thin layer that's supposed to surround the sphere. But it's not a sphere, so we shouldn't call it an atmosphere. It's something between the flat earth we call and the firmament. Something in there. So it should be like an atmo hemisphere, something like that. But atmosphere is wrong. We shouldn't use that word. So we have to know terminology for when they speak against us, not to fall in the trap. We shouldn't make such mistakes.
Yeah, Graham, though, because by accident, people still by accident. Even when you accidentally, you just say it.
Yeah, accidentally.
Got to get away from the meme.
Because that's what we were taught. Yeah. And the song by Led Zeppelin that says, "There's a sign on the wall, but she wants to be sure. 'Cause sometimes words have two meanings." Yeah, I get it right. The Stairway to Heaven. You know which one? Astral.
Yeah.
Astral. Are you with me?
Yeah, sorry. I was going to be very sarcastic then and say, can you do anything other than sing? But yeah, I got that in the end. Sorry, Costa. Yeah. Stairway to Heaven. Yeah. Sorry. I love you, brother.
You have to sing with me. You have to sing with me. I'm out of tune. You have to play something.
I'm not very good.
Get your guitar out.
Costa, you're out of tune, and I think it'll be don't take this as an insult, but you're out of tune, and I think it'll be a few weeks before you do get in tune.
Sorry
to say it like that, but and I'm not the best singer either, but
Yeah.
No, I love you, man. Sorry, I'm only having a laugh.
So
yeah, I think I'm frustrated, aren't we? Though now, when you Like Costa's doing masses of research. I know that Huey does. We know that Big Dread does. Look at Raven. Lev's always doing things. Patricia, we're all doing so much, and it's very frustrating, isn't it? Because where do we go? How do we really do this? We all want to move on, don't we? We all want, I don't know, because I think if we woke up tomorrow and they said, hey, guess what? We're flat. It's not going to sort everything. It'll probably make more confusion, to be honest.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if they do say it's flat, would that solve our problems? No, that seems like they just giving us what we want. You feel what I'm saying? So like, we got to look deeper into that. You feel what I'm saying? We got to really have a bigger picture, man. We want freedom. This flat Earth ain't. We don't give a y'all. Like I said, let them. If they Earth want to be round, let it be round. If they agree that they still want their freedom. You feel what I'm saying? Let the earth be round. Long as that they know that they want to be free and that the system is against us. If they can't see that, then they are the opposition. Period, man. If they don't see that it's us against the system, whether we round earth or flat earth, they are a problem. Period, man. It's not a gray area. It's not a gray area.
It's frustrating though, isn't it, to be here when we don't know everything, because who really knows what the sun and the moon really are, but we know a lot more, and it sort of feels a bit helpless in the fact that so many people are waking up, but there are so many that are not going to be that way, that it's just a certain amount of people that are going to wake up in the first place. Or do you think everybody, or it goes out? What do you reckon? I can't see it. I thought 2016 was, do you think it's continued to move at the speed, or?
Can I say, I would have to say it has to, because you put it this way, right? We are, however many, 3, 6, we're 9 people on the panel now, aren't we? Yeah. And we're all flat earthers. At one point in our lives, previous to this evening, we were globalists. We believed in the sun as the center of our universe, and we were all spinning around it like crazy fools, Now we're of a different mindset, and we know differently. We're 9 people on the panel here who believe in a flat earth. We are 9 people just here alone. So when you ask the question, are we growing? Definitely we're growing. Definitely. And we're not going to ever recede, because once you go flat, you don't go back. We all know that.
Can't go back, can you? How can you can't go back to that?
I think the word flat is what scare everybody away from it. Just the word flat alone. Because when you think about something flat, you think of something like a piece of paper, right? So then they see all this different dimension. It's hard for them to say flat, because then they see a mountain and they don't really grasp the idea that you can have this table right here. You know what I'm saying? I can have a table and this thing sitting on top of it, but my table is still flat. You feel what I'm saying? They can't grasp that. You know what I'm saying? So half of them really it's hard for them to see the word flat, and we have to let them know that it's a level plane, because they can't see it. Once you look at the ocean, and the ocean is deep, and then you got land up under that, so they're like, how can this land be flat up here when it's land up under us? And that make it sort of a box. You feel what I'm saying? Or, you know what I'm saying? So it's like they know that it's not flat because the land is moving. You feel me? The roads is going up and down. You got hills, you got valleys, you got all these different questions. But the thing is that for us to let them know that what we are really trying to say, that it's not round, that we're not spinning around like they say that we are, getting paid $52 million a day to tell us a bunch of lies. So look at it differently, so we can all figure out exactly what we are living on. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's flat or not, we know that it's not round and spinning around in the galaxy in no man's land. That's what we do know, So that's where I think we push away people from, with the word flat.
You probably should have said flat horizon. That would have been maybe a better word, because there is a flat horizon. When you say flat, people think, well, there's mountains, gorges, there's all these kind of things, but it's a flat plane with them on it. I don't know why we can see it and they don't see it like that. So
Can I
right
just say,
on
there's
one.
Karen, Barney Melton in the chat is asking or saying, no one has had a professional photographer on to talk. That's his job. When you understand how imagery works, it's a no-brainer. You need to hear what I have to bring to the table. What's that then, Barney? Right in the chat, man.
Well, we have
I
had.
would say, we have photographers, we had air pilots, we had artists, we had all different people from all different levels and walks of life to come
Yeah,
and
I'd
say
say
that
so
it was
too.
flat.
I would say so too. And
So I would say he need to do some more research.
I would say photographers, we've had, I think, probably more photographers than anything else. Who's not got, you know, a camera taking pictures of chemtrails or the moon or the sun or whatever, you know, horizons. Yeah, but maybe he's got something on his mind there. I don't know.
Tell him to come on a panel and speak his piece. We need some round earther, somebody to debate with or to convert. This is what we're trying to do it for.
The only thing is, though, Huey, this Hangout is quite big and it's going a bit slow on my computer. Sean G said he couldn't hear anything. I think if we, and also when we were 10 and now we're on. Do you think that we should maybe ask Barney to come on? You can all come back and try do another Hangout in a few, and we'll talk to this person if they want to come on. The words they can use, you know. But
I say, if they know the basics, do he know how fast the earth is spinning? If he a round earther, do he know how that operate before he's able to come on? Because then we can decipher if he really want to know information, and do he know any information at all, or if it's worth the time. Because I say, if they don't know the basics, we wasting our time, because they don't know anything. You know what I'm saying? They don't even know how that operates. So how can they dispute what we saying? You know, so that's what I say about that.
A little bit late right now to add him to the having going for 3 hours, but maybe he wants to get in touch with me. I'll put my email and he can write to me. But we have had many people with P900s, and you know roughly how far a P900 could see. All right, I've sent him my email in the chat room. Yeah. Anyway, they're lying so much about things. I'd like to know what the pyramids were all about, to be honest, for a start. I know it's a bit different to what we were talking about with education and changing things for the future, but we don't even know about our past. I mean, maybe to some people it's not that important, but, you know, I'd like to know a bit more about what these pyramids were about, really. There's so many of them. We don't even understand all that and who those people
I think they're a source of energy that lights up the grid. I think they really got something to do with the whole power grid. You feel me? Because it's mountains pyramids everywhere. You feel what I'm saying? Even the mountains, so-called mountains, there's some either tree stumps or pyramids. So I really think in this pyramids up under the ocean, you got to know that all the land is connected anyways, right? Because we know that if you go up under the ocean, it's land that connects the waters from across. So we know that there's one landmass. You feel me? That's why we know it's a flat earth. All right. So with that being said, I believe that the pyramids have something to do with the energy source with the sun and the moon. You feel what I'm saying? It's all about that. That's the energy source that energizes the grid. You know what I'm saying? It's sort of like the probably like the heart or the something to do like the, you know, you feel what I'm saying? Some part of the body that makes the body go, to pump the energy in it. You know, what you put in the middle of a pyramid, that's where all the tombs supposed to be at, right? The great tombs, and that's where they mummatize, and it's just energy right there. You feel what I'm saying? That's why I build houses and stuff like that. That's why I've been talking to the brothers about some type of pyramid housing, and I want to do it where it rotate with the sun, like a sundial. You feel what I'm saying? But build it like a pyramid instead of being in the square, because they trying to keep us in a box. So if we was in a pyramid and sleeping inside a pyramid and had our bed in the center of in the center of the pyramid facing north, rotating with the sun and the energy, I believe that it would give us a source of, I don't know. I think I want to say it will give us really everlasting life. I don't know. But this is just what I think. You feel me? Me personally, I haven't done a research and study on it, but that's just what I think.
Huey, I have a little pyramid that I have over my bed, you know, like a half a meter or so over my head when I go to sleep. I've got another one here, I'll show you. It's a little wire one. Can you see? It's like a little wire, right?
Right.
And I hang it from a piece of string, so it's over my head. I sleep so
And
sound, man.
you see how you got the
really
dimensions in that?
Sorry?
You see the dimensions in that. You see all the squares and how it's all the dimensions inside of it. You feel what I'm saying? So that's what they was trying to create within our housing system. See, they created us inside that box system though, instead of the pyramid. So then they got us locked and trapped inside this box is like a tesseract where they trap our soul and our spirit, and how they operate us in the box because they control everything within the box. So if we take ourselves outside of the box controlling and start being within the nature, you feel what I'm saying, and being within that pyramid, it would take us out of that control. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. I've
actually
heard that buildings or small rooms that are pyramid shaped, or let's say you have a skylight that's a pyramid, that people benefit from it. And in fact, I think somewhere here in Denmark there is a health center that is a pyramid. And it's the health center that you go in this pyramid, and obviously it's made of this shape so that people can benefit from the shape of the structure, you know. So I mean, yeah, obviously it works. Pyramids are good for you.
See that helps me out with what I'm thinking about, because I know if I can build it on that foundation and just make it rotate with the sun, like some people don't want the sun, so they can have their stuff set sort of with the nighttime, so they can rotate like that. You feel what I'm saying? It's just like, I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out another way, because I know that if we had all of these around, if we had this type of thing going all around our grid, because you got to realize in our civilization we have boxed everything, just like you was talking about the apartments and things like that. It's like prisms. You feel what I'm saying? Like prison asylums. You feel what I'm saying? So like if we could change that, the on the grid, it would be pyramid. It would be energy all the way around the grid. So we would energize ourselves. We wouldn't need no electricity. That way we wouldn't have to pay for none of that. That's the way to make ourselves self-efficient, because the houses have to be solar efficient. Well, I'm going to put, instead of shingles on the roof, I want to put solar panels on the roof and things like that. Make it solar efficient. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, Huey, are you in construction?
Yes.
All right, yeah, okay, me too. I'm a carpenter, you know, build houses and things, right?
Me too.
Have you heard about passive housing? Passive
housing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think with the industrial housing, where they building them out of
well, let me put it like this, right? A passive house is, as the word says, it's passive, it's not active. So for it to keep warm, it keeps itself warm. It's passive. It's not doing anything to retain its heat. It's keeping itself warm. An active house is generally what most people live in, where you have radiators, you have, you know, windows to open if it's too hot, you have air conditioning to keep it cool, whatever, you know. So it's active. A passive house, you don't have all that. You have thick walls, like walls maybe 60 centimeters thick, you know, lots of insulation.
So it trapped the energy inside of it, right?
There's no cold bridges. And by cold bridges, what I mean is like going from a cold area. Let's say that you have a foundation here, and if you're building a house on top of it, you're going from the cold to the cold. So what you need to do is eliminate cold bridges. And the way of doing that is by putting a thermal blanket. So basically, you need to make a house that is built like a thermos can, you know, a thermos flask.
Right, like a thermos can, like a exactly.
Basically, that's how you need to make your house, so that within it you have the thermal shielding, you know, to keep the heat in, to keep the
Right,
cold out. But
right.
you also need to eliminate any cold bridges, so that if you have an area that's, because heat
If
transfers
it's too
through
much energy, then it will
radiation.
be too hot. Right.
Heat transfers through radiation. It transfers through convection, and it transfers through. Well, there's three mediums, isn't there, for heat to transfer? You know, radiation. What did I just say?
The
There's
electromagnetic.
three areas anyway, right? I'm having a brain fart right now. But anyway, basically, this house, passive housing, is like a house that is built in a thermos type state, using solar gains, because you have the south side of your house, like here in the northern hemisphere. Down in Australia, they will obviously use the north side of their house to get solar gains, more sunshine there. The northern hemisphere, we need big solar windows facing south, small tiny windows facing north, because that's where we're going to lose all our heat. So it's like kind of,
Right.
there is a science behind it anyway. It's a
Yes,
total
it is,
physics
because that's how we
science
have to do,
behind
just
it. And
like
you
that in
build
dimensions. And you're right, exactly.
you build your house like, okay, I've got three windows on the south side of my house, and they are 1m20 by 1m20. So therefore, my solar gains are going to be this much. Therefore, I need to make the windows on the opposite side of the house this big to compensate for it. So it's all there is a science behind it. It's all mathematics and everything, and it works really nice. I just think that people need to make them a lot more than what they are doing at the moment. There's something like, I think 30,000, maybe 40,000 here in Europe. It ain't enough. They've been building them since the 80s, man. It's not enough, you know. Every single house should be built to passive house standard, because it's kind of like the Rolls Royce of housing. You never mind A+++ house, this beats it. You know, I yield the floor anyway, sorry. Oh,
I'm not sure if I've heard of that before.
Yeah, but yeah, I just really feel like, yeah, that'd be a great idea, because you're right, because it'd be like it's the give and take situation. You feel what I'm saying? It's like it's what energy does. You know what I'm saying? You got to give a little and take a little. You feel what I'm saying? It's like you create a vacuum and a suction, the way that the energy will be trapped, and that way that you can trap yourself in your own orb and create your own reality world. Like you can create your dreams.
Huey, when you make a cup of Huey, when you make a cup of coffee, the kettle boils, you make a cup of coffee, it's hot. But to keep the coffee hot, you've got to keep the electricity boiling on that pot to keep the coffee warm. Well, a passive house, you're not connected to the electricity keeping it warm. Your house is already warm. You've got the lid on, it's closed, you're inside it. And in fact, if you've got a cold evening in a passive house, you can invite a couple of friends over and just their own body heat, because we give off 100 watts of warmth per person per hour, you know. So 3 people, you're going to give off some heat. 3 people laughing are going to give off even more heat, you know. And if you're dancing, hey, your house is nice and warm, man. You don't even need to open a window, you know. And this is reality.
Creating your own energy once you move around.
Yeah,
you feel what I'm saying?
3 of those small little candles, you know, in a little aluminium tea-light candles, right? 3 of them, you can heat up your house. And I am not joking. 3 of those, you know, you can warm up your house. You have an electricity bill or an energy bill for the whole year that might be like £300, you know. This is cheap housing. It costs more to build the house, but the long run, when the house is built, your energy savings are going to be like, you know, fantastic. So it's the way forward. The only problem is that it's expensive for the materials to buy the house. And when you've got like a wall that's half a meter thick compared to the normal, you know, 2 rows of bricks or whatever it is, wood, you know. Yeah, no insulation, man. And if we're going to be saving the planet and hoping for, you know, to save carbon emissions and stuff, this is the way forward. We just need to, you know, keep on it and do it.
Do you think that they'll build things that way, though, Astral? Not going to build things like the way you said, are they, though? They don't care about all that, do they? They want us in these apartments or these houses with little tiny gardens. And
Yeah, well, can I say something that in Germany, in Austria, here in Denmark as well, they are building passive housing. I think primarily most in Germany and in Austria, because the guy that started it is called Wolfgang Feist, a physicist. I think, if I'm not wrong, he's from Austria. He might be German though. But anyway, he's Germanic anyway, let's put it that way. Yeah, this started in the 80s. It's 2018 now. I mean, we should be a lot further forward than we actually are, you know. And I'm not seeing it much anyway, but it's the way we need to go, definitely.
well, quite a few different things today, which is good, isn't it? Costa, do you feel that when you went near Silbury Hill, because that was a pyramid, did you feel any difference? Just asking. Or was it like more because you...
Yeah, okay, I can't say I felt something big, okay, but it definitely, yeah, when I went around it, and then when I went to the Avebury site, the stones there, you could sense something, but I think you need to spend more time there. You have to sit down and maybe meditate or go around the place a few times. But the other
to people, Costa went to build the pyramid up the road from me, and he also and it does have such a nice feeling there, doesn't it? You just feel it at peace and harmony and awe.
Yeah.
Everybody's in a good mood. Everybody wants to be there. Everybody's outside walking around. Everybody's touching the stones. You can't go near Silbury Hill, I'm afraid. They put a fence around it, but you can go and stand very close to it.
Yeah. And do you know about the road that goes all the way to Glastonbury? There's a path that was connected, and there's a wooden, like on the floor they found wooden markings. So in the past there was a whole complex, I think, of this.
What John Carey was the pyramids there, but the farmers have knocked them down and things have come along and knocked them down. But a lot of people don't know that there's another pyramid in Marlborough. It's called Merlin's Mound, and actually they built houses around it. In fact, they put a water tower in it, so they probably destroyed everything that it was. Oh, we've just lost someone. Lev, I think. Oh no, it's Lev there. No, I think we've lost Lev. Yeah, they've already destroyed that one because they put a water tower in it. But the actual pyramid is there in the middle. They built houses around it. But I only realised that one was there about 2 months ago. Even I didn't know.
Marlborough, yeah.
So, yeah. And that one, Resonate Hill, which is about 10 miles away.
10 miles away, yeah. But do you know about the Glastonbury Zodiac? Did you hear about that?
Not sure, but go on then, very quick. Explain that to us then, Costa.
It's a zodiac that goes around the tour and the village there and the town in Glastonbury, and some of the figure. It's basically the 12 signs of the zodiac, and some of the figures are like more than 5 miles in diameter. They're making a huge circle, and you can't see it from the ground. You have to go, high above to see it. It's sort of like some Inca lines in Peru, that they have some shapes like
Nazca
monkeys
lines.
or
What is it?
the Nazca
Sorry.
lines. Yeah, the Nazca lines.
Sorry, Costa. What is it that you're talking about now?
The Glastonbury zodiac.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah.
Well, let me show you.
I mean, they're actually wondering where the Glastonbury Tor, which is a kind of hill, is another pyramid, aren't they? I've been up that one as well.
You see, like this. Can you see it? No. I'm reading a book about it. It's very interesting.
Yeah, it's good. Just hold it there longer, and just hold it there longer, Costa. Still and long, so it focuses. Yeah. Good.
You see it? It's at 12 signs, okay? And there's something in the middle. There's another sign in the middle. And also on the sides, there's a dog. You see, there's like a dog here. It's like protecting it. So this dog is aligned with the Tor, and then there's another place that's called the Camelot. Camelot, King Arthur's palace or something. Also, that they make a triangle from this. Let me find that.
Oh, we seem to have lost Big Dread as well at the moment.
So, yeah, it has all the signs, and then they're very similar to the ones we have now. This goes back thousands of years, definitely. Maybe it's the biggest discovery there is in England, in the whole of the UK. But they don't say about this stuff.
We've just lost Flat Earth Unity, Flat Earth Teens as well. But we have been going for 3.5. Maybe they didn't want to interrupt and they had to leave. Just to say that John Cowrie, who's been on our panel, he reckons that Silbury Hill's one of the in the world. So, yeah, I think about the same then, won't it? Because it obviously Glastonbury. All the ley lines and stuff like that. It links to the pyramids of Giza. That's what he said.
Let me read you a quote from this book. Here is the first round table. Okay, the round table was constructed, not without great significance, upon the advice of Merlin. By its name, it is meant to signify the round world and the round canopy of the planets and the elements in the firmament, which are to be seen, the stars and many other things. No wonder William of Malmesbury called Glastonbury a heavenly sanctuary on earth. Okay, I think this is very important for flat earth and everything. They're hiding this wonderful information from us. And it's a base for everything, I think. All the religions, all the languages, they come down to this knowledge. And our words, how we speak, how we pronounce the words, has an effect. So what you are doing, Karen, is really very important, and you have people with extreme knowledge coming up and talking and connecting people around the world. Well done, well done. I'm happy for that. Yeah. Go on.
So this book then?
Where I got it?
Yeah.
Where I got it from the library. From the library at Wells. You know, Wells, it's a small city close to Glastonbury. Because I go there, I go to Somerset. It's close to where I live. And I went around the tour a few times.
Costa, I have to say, and anyone else for that matter, that's one thing I miss about England. Books were so cheap. I mean, you can buy books for nothing, man. Absolutely nothing. And they cost a fortune over here. I think there is no VAT on books in England. Is that correct?
Yes, I don't know. I can't say. I can't compare with other
books are cheap.
countries.
You can get good books in England for no money, man. I used to go to my mum lives in Wales, and she has a good bookshop close by where she lives, and I could just go there and buy 10 or 20 books, man, for no money. I mean, for no money. Very, very cheap. So you're very fortunate. Get as many books as you can.
Yeah, I borrow them. I borrow them from a library. It's free.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that with us. And Costa is also on a massive, aren't you, Costa? He's not Earth for that long, so he's eating right now, aren't you, Costa?
It's things coming up, but I don't know how to describe it. You know, it's like I think of something, and it shows to me. For example, this word, I've been thinking about the word planet for some days, like weeks now. Don't think that it just came up to me now. I thought about it, I searched, I make my research. And last night, the Russian Beats was talking about it. And I said, I have to tell you, I can't stay without that. But our thoughts are the most important thing. For example, if we want to make more people know about flat Earth, okay? My idea is, say you are on the bus or somewhere with people, you don't have to say inside of you, I wish I could talk to them, like stand up and start preaching about flat Earth and explaining. You have it inside you just want to say it out, yes? I think the best thing, not the best thing, one thing to do is to just visualize it in your mind, like you are talking to them. Like having a normal conversation, and they're answering back, say to one sitting next to you, or anybody in there, or to everybody, whatever, however you want to think about it. I think that works. There is a connection. The other person will catch something, maybe not at that moment, but at some point in life, something will manifest and he will come across it. That's my philosophy, let's say. That's why I believe. The power of the thought is very strong. And imagination. It's good to imagine. It's good to work our imagination, because we leave it back. We forget about it. It sounds like, we don't need to do it. Why to imagine things? It's like they make you feel like it's nonsense. But it's really, really working. It's working.
We spoke about this previously, Costa. I believe imagination is probably one of the most important things that, well, if not the most important tool that we have, because without our imagination, we stagnate, don't we? We don't go anywhere. We don't do anything. We can't create anything, or we can't progress. So imagination, I think anyway, is important for progressing. You know, we need to think, we need to imagine, you know, and dream and envision and create and you know, work things out. Like, you know, it's so easy to do it when you're sleeping. And
Once Costa's read the book, maybe you can tell us a bit more. You're reading it, aren't you?
Yeah, I just started now. I got it a few days ago. I just started now. Yeah, I'm gonna finish it and tell you. Go ahead. It's good. It's well written. It's an old edition. Yeah. Let's see if I can.
Can I just?
Yeah.
Can I just say we have been going for 3.5 hours, and I don't mean to be a party pooper, but I don't know why, because Vinny's just mentioned it, that the hangout we had last night, at the moment, only 2 hours of the 5.5 hours is rendered, which is really annoying. It's done this once before. It took nearly a week to render the rest. I don't know why it did. Maybe it's going to do the same on that hangout. And then I carried on till about 6 o'clock this morning on Vinny TV, because Russian vids went over there. So I haven't really had much sleep, but we've been going for 3.5 hours. It's always really amazing on a sun and moon hangout, and such brilliant ideas. I love Huey's, and I love what Costa says. I love Astral, and I love Josh. Josh has gone a bit quiet. Is Huey there? Huey, is there anything else you want to say? Huey. Is he there? He's put his phone down and he's doing something. Patricia, are you there? Patricia.
Miss Patricia's probably asleep. Sorry, I'm like taking care of the family and everything, but I'm here. I'm just being quiet or respectful mostly.
Yeah, that was a very deep hangout for a bit, wasn't that, Josh? Josh, is there anything you'd like to say then? He's looking after his kids. Yeah. Astral, anything you'd like to add then? Astral, you're muted.
I can hear everyone really, really good this evening, Karen. But when you talk, you break up, really, honestly. But sorry, no, I'm good. I just want to say thanks to everyone. You know.
We've just lost Josh as well. Oh well, I think with the amount of people, I don't know anyway. Costa, is there anything you want to add? Costa, anything you'd like to add before we go?
No, it's good to speak again, and time to sleep. Yeah, me too. Been busy all day.
Hey, Karen, I'm sorry, you guys. I didn't mean to intrude, but I'm finna go ahead and go back to work. Man, it was great building with you guys. I've been listening, just talking to some of my people. They've been listening in too, so they really like y'all. I let them see your channel, so they probably gonna subscribe in. If you just see some people in there that might just not be in agreement, they might have came from me some type of way, because you know they just still searching. So I try to direct them to our channel so they can hear information. So, you know, just be kind of mindful of them sometimes.
I love you, Huey.
Love you, Karen. Love you guys. Love you guys. Great building with you guys. Let's go ahead and put together that that challenge. What's your name? Who said he was going to talk? Yeah. You, what's your name again?
Astral. I'm the Astral thief. I'm the Astral
thief. Yeah, the Astral thief. The Astral
I'm an
thief.
anagram.
Okay, yeah. When you talk to your people, man, and see what's up with the with the commentary notes and things like that, and let's put that together.
Huey, I've already emailed him. It's on the go, so I'm waiting for his response tomorrow. But he's
Okay,
got the
great.
message. He's probably fast asleep in bed now, like, you know. But yeah, it's done, man. I've done it.
Thank
It's
you,
all
baby.
good. It's
Thank
all
you. I
good.
love that, baby. Love you guys, man. Peace to the chat. Y'all like and subscribe. Y'all share the information. Keep it flat. Keep it even. Keep it positive. Much love, y'all. Peace.
Hey, Huey, it was good to
Yes.
hear you talk today because you've been on a couple
Yes,
of
ma'am.
hangouts
It's
and
always a
didn't say
pleasure.
very much.
It's always a pleasure. Let's get together and let's do some more things. I got some things in mind that I would like to talk about too. So maybe we can put together a time and just let you know some information that I want to do. Like I said, I wanted to do the thing with the kids at the school. So maybe you can help me with that. You guys, I think all you guys will be a great help with that. If we can some type of way orchestrate that. I think that'd be a good thing to
Here
do.
to help.
Yeah,
Help
we're all
each
helping
other,
each
can't
other.
we?
We're all helping each other.
Help each other.
Yes.
Build the helping each
Yep.
other.
So I keep you guys informed and you know, just keep me informed, you know, just keep hit me in the chat with the links, and definitely every time I get a chance to step in, I will.
Oh, big flat earth hugs to you, Huey. Thank you very much. And you know I'll talk to you. Yeah,
All
we'll
right,
talk.
great. See you guys later.
Bye, darling.
See you
All right,
guys.
peace.
Bye.
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 There was 10. Now we're down to 4. Anyway, I think it's time that we did say goodnight. Thank you very much to everybody that's been on the panel today. All 10 of us, which everybody saw, from Big Dread down to Costa. Huey, Josh, Patricia, Lev, Astral, Sean G came on for a bit. Who else was there? Is that it? Is that? Oh, yeah, of course. Flat Earth Teens, Raven. Thank you to all those. Thank you to everybody in the chat room. It got a bit intense for a bit there, the hangout, but that's all good stuff because we all want a change. Thank you to, again, big flat earth hugs to everybody in the chat room. And what's the date today? Tuesday. We're back Thursday. We're back Thursday with James talking about the fear factor, and Lady Co-Pilot should be on. Anyway, thank you so much. See everybody on Thursday. Mwah to everybody. And yeah, bye from us.